unfortunately. I think we would have seen a lot more professional athletes on there. But unfortunately, I think during the pandemic, people have lost a lot of money and seen that as an opportunity to get your jugs out.
Yeah.
You ever thought about getting your jugs out?
That's just what I need to do. What term are you saying? Get my what?
Jugs.
Get my jugs out.
Come on, bro.
Oh, dump them out. I see what you're saying.
Get them out, bro.
I get it.
Well,
you should dump them out.
Dumping sounds a little...
Just dump them out, ladies.
Oh, my God.
I thought about it this way. This was seriously, like, I was having a discussion about it as one of those things that, is there a chance that OnlyFans is going to become legit and not feel weird? And if it is, I went and signed up and at least got my name.
Really?
So that it can't be taken. Because if it does become a legitimate platform that we do have to play that game because of what we do, I would look at my OnlyFans as simply like an extension of my Instagram that I'll never advertise to you on.
I like the concept. I've seen...
But you could do the same with Patreon or...
What is that?
It's the same type of thing.
Oh, right, okay.
A GoFundMe or whatever that...
right.
A Patreon would be like, you get some exclusive content for signing up for this that the rest of my people don't get, whether that's a different gym tour or a nutrition video or something simple, right? That it's basically a paid site.
Well, I got on Twitch.
Oh, okay.
Twitch, I seen as the PG version of OnlyFans.
Interesting. See, I just assumed Twitch was like gaming, so I know so little about it because I'm old.
Think about this. Twitch is that service alone, and again, I'm not technically savvy in all this, but I got on because I seen.
Well, this will be great for the fans then.
Yeah. So I seen actually during the opening of the gym, I was thinking of live streaming a couple of what is it, just go live on Twitch.
Yeah, right.
I've got it set up on my phone. I got it set up for the gaming, which we'll talk about too. I'm part of a gaming league too.
All right.
Yeah, but the Twitch side of things is a very interesting concept because you can have subscribers on that too. Okay. And you can charge a monthly fee, which I don't. But
you just do it for free.
Yes.
Okay.
But it allows fans to talk to you live, pretty much like Instagram. But you're taking them off that Instagram portal and taking them to another platform, which I think this platform allows you now to monetize, like Instagram Live and Facebook Live or whatever
there's
else.
no real way to monetize it.
So, but Twitch you can, because people can donate, people can subscribe if you have that.
Like if they like what's going on, they can hit the donate button.
Yeah. I mean, I see a lot of these Twitch superstars making a tremendous amount of money just by having the donate button and shouting fans out, Not going down that rabbit hole. But I do feel that Twitch is a great portal and a future portal that I will be more part of, especially going into this year's different preps and having the athletes around me. So I try to be as savvy as I can on the variety of different socials. I'm not on TikTok. One thing I do regret.
Figure it out.
Yeah, but you know what? I wish I did get on TikTok now, looking back, but I thought it was going to be another fad type of social thing. But social.
Well, every time one shows up, it's like I have to at least look at it.
Yeah. See, I thought it was a dance portal. I thought it was going to be one of the, but they've done such a great job of getting into the nuts and bolts there and actually turning into what it is. And the key thing is you can monetize compared to Instagram.
Can you monetize TikTok?
Yeah. People are getting paid quite a lot of money through advertising and stuff like that.
Right? But that's the same as Instagram.
Yeah, but I don't think it's as easily available to be done on Instagram as it is on TikTok. Like, again, I've seen or spoke to people, they're like, listen, Frank, get on TikTok. I was like, what happened?
Or do you think there's just too much noise in the Instagram space right now that because there's still less people on TikTok?
Yeah, well, but TikTok has blown up, right?
Of course it has.
It seems like TikTok has that Facebook generation. Like my mother and father are all on Facebook, and so are all their friends. Right. I don't go on Facebook. I got a Facebook fan page.
It's terrible.
I honestly don't go on it. I think it's dribble. I see about people talking about this and the other. It's like, oh my God, they're moaning about whatever,
whinging about whatever it is.
So I stay away from it. But
it's
that
one of my
generation,
favorite terms is just whinging.
They taken the Instagram fans and followers, and then they've got what I feel is the Facebook generation that has merged in, because TikTok is fun, adults are having fun and laughing and doing the dances and this and the other. But then the people who are more tech savvy and got into it for the business reasons are killing it.
Okay.
So, and I've been told even several times, even this a couple of days ago, grand opening, somebody who's big on TikTok said, get on it. Get on it. You're missing a massive opportunity because he feels that this is going to take over Instagram. So I don't know.
Like, that's a lot to. I got forever's a long time. Like I don't believe Instagram. But we've had Facebook a long time, but Facebook feels on the way out.
It does.
Except they own Instagram.
They do.
So they're not on the way out. And not only that, like Facebook to me has pivoted into such a different thing as far as if I was running Facebook as a business. What I'm looking at is the amount of energy that's being put into photo identification software and stuff like that. Well, how would you say acquire a decade worth of photos from almost everyone on Earth? We've provided them for free.
Yeah.
They have them all.
Everyone.
So you know what that's worth to sell? So that's the only reason I'll keep investing money into Facebook stock, because whatever government decides to buy that.
You're going into some dark rabbit holes right now, my friend.
I don't have a feeling about it. I'd like to profit off of it.
Yeah.
Someone's going to profit off of it. I don't mind that it's me.
Yeah. Well,
I think the facial recognition software is where Facebook is going to have its big money.
I mean, if you're looking at all the things from the facial recognition side of things right now with the filters and stuff like that, it's gone ballistic. That is a market in itself.
Yep.
Every time I turn on my Instagram alone, there's new filters that have popped up, and the amount of technology that's gone into that. I was on laughing and joking 2 nights ago with the new filter of the
pillow face.
Yes,
it's so funny.
Botox and everything. You know what I
So
mean?
funny.
What do you call it? Pillow
face, I think is what they call it. They
Jesus
figured
Christ.
out
Is that what it's called?
they figured out the least offensive way to say, like, you look like a cat person who's had too much surgery.
Overuse of Botox and fillers.
Yeah. How does it make everyone look the same? There's a certain level of plastic surgery that you look like a species of person that has had lots of plastic surgery.
But you know what? Some people love that look, and that's what they achieve to do.
Right on.
Honestly.
I mean, who are we to tell people their look is
exactly.
not attractive? Meanwhile, we've both been maniacs and built bodies that do weird shit. So,
true.
like, fucking who am I to tell you?
Still to this day.
Yeah, right.
But that is something that has blown my mind, because the only way you would see that type of technology was in movies back in the day. Now you can set the tip of your fingers. You can actually put a favorite artist, a favorite movie star face and pretend to be that person.
Yeah,
you can
the deep fake stuff.
It's wild. But anyway, we're into a real new genre, bro.
Dive
right into this.
There, man.
Welcome to doing podcasts with Matt Vincent.
I'll talk about anything.
I love it.
I mean, what are we going to talk about? Sets and reps? Fuck cares.
Really? I thought that's what you were for.
It's terrible. I'm aware that you do a lot of them. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
And not only that, you figured out, like, that's why I don't ever get that big of interest in those type of things, because I've done it long enough that I know your thing works great for flex. There's some big picture things that anyone can learn from it, but like the fine-tuned details are the system that you've built over 20 years.
Yeah.
That helps you win.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, I was lucky enough to have Luke on and talk about that, and I just think about what a different life experience it is coming from another country to move here. And especially with, you're going to make muscles enough to move to another country and have people pay your bills? Like, that's a fucking weird fairy tale thing to think of.
Yeah, you know what? I had this sort of this conversation not even that long ago. It's the first time I had it, and it just looking back.
Yeah.
We all have them, man, remember when, but...
No, but you get a big picture look back of like, holy shit.
But you know what, though? Even going through everything from the get-go, I hate to say it, it was like confidently ignorant. That's the only way I could...
There's nothing wrong with that.
Confidently ignorant. I didn't even really know what, America was all about. I just knew I had to be there.
So what year did you come over?
Dang, I came over when I was 20 years old. So I'm 37 right now.
So you and I are same age.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're 37?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'll be 38 in a week or so.
I've aged well.
Yeah, I look rough.
Fucking joking.
Fucking hell.
Listen,
Perfect.
if you can't take shit off me,
No, this is
you're
why
not
I'm
my
so
friend.
excited. Like
Cheers, by the way.
that's why I've always been so happy with my UK friends, because there's a different level
We call it
of
banter.
shit talking.
We call it banter.
Yeah, of just little
Yeah.
digs constantly amongst your friends. It's the best.
A lot of people don't get it though. See?
Oh man, people that get offended by that.
Oh my gosh!
Did
But
sports too long.
It's me. It's so I'm not going to change myself now. I mean, look at this accent. I've had this since I came here, 20 years old. You know, I go back home. People say I sound American, but
I'm sure it gets worse when you're back home.
oh, what do you mean?
Your accent.
Yeah, my accent gets stronger.
I'm
thicker,
sure mine does it.
faster.
If I'm in the South with friends of
Yeah.
mine, like I fucking turn mush
Yeah,
mouth.
you probably as soon as you start saying fixing and y'all.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I use y'all. It's like,
Right,
we'll go
okay.
down there. We're gonna get it figured out, man. I'll tell you.
I tell you, I lived in Tennessee for 7 years, so I know.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Where in Tennessee?
First, I studied in Columbia, Tennessee.
Okay.
Then I moved up to Franklin, Tennessee. Then I moved to Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Is that all
Wonderful years.
East side of Tennessee?
West.
Okay.
East is Knoxville, right?
Got it.
Yeah. Wonderful years. I had a phenomenal experience at Tennessee. I would actually retire there, to be honest.
Yeah.
I definitely have a retirement house there. I just love the seasons. I love the people. Southern hospitality to its finest. I don't know how it is now with so many people that have moved to Nashville. I'm sure that's sort of watered
I'm sure
down.
it's probably
that.
fine. Same with Austin, though. But like, Austin
know.
gets that reputation of so many people have come. But man, I fucking have a great time every time I'm in
Yeah.
Austin, man.
Yeah, I've never been.
Austin's a good city,
everybody says
dude.
it's amazing.
Austin's a really cool city, and like ONNIT is their headquarters
That's
are
right.
there, and
Yeah,
since
yeah,
I've worked
yeah.
with them for a while, I always have a great trip going down.
Good,
Bunch
good.
of good coaches and stuff I like
Yeah.
down there too. And then you ended up in Boca.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Stick on that.
Yeah, we'll fucking figure it out.
Should we just take it right back to the start?
Yeah, let's go back to Twitch.
Okay, so when when I came over here at 20 years old, I don't know how deep you want to dig into this stuff, but
Up to you.
let's take it back to. I'll give a short summary for the followers and fans that don't know much about my story. 6 years old, I got the nickname Flex. Nothing to do with bodybuilding.
It's 6.
Yeah, 6 years old.
Just mean-mugging people?
No, it was to do with rugby. I definitely had short man syndrome, that's for sure. But I played rugby, and that was my predominant sport. So Flex was a nickname I picked up very young. It was flexible, because I used to get out of these, what the guys would say, like a crazy predicament on the field. So
Okay.
people say, there's no way you're going to go through that gap. I'd find a way. And the nickname Flexi.
Squirrely.
Flexi. Yes, Squirrely. Flexi was, thank God I didn't get the Squirrely.
You didn't get Squirrely?
Squirrely Lewis wouldn't have such a powerful kick to it.
Such a different gym layout and everything.
Yes, yes. Flex Lewis.
You have a big dragon, like a squirrel on the wall instead of a dragon. I love it.
Yeah,
The squirrel den.
Flex. Shit, thrown off my train of thought.
Sorry.
Yes, it's okay. Flexi was what I was called from a young age, and then obviously on the field when you're playing, Flexi was a bit of a mouthful.
Yeah.
So I got abbreviated down to Flex.
You
And
can't
that-
have
and that's-
two-syllable nicknames.
No,
it's tricky.
it's pretty hard. You know, if you're having the ball come out to you and people are like, Flexi, you know, it works in some context, but when you want, you know, fast mouth, you know, ball fast, whatever it was, Flexi was what it was
It's
abbreviated
like too
to.
long of a name on a dog, right? Like you can't yell it the right
Yeah.
fucking way if your dog's
Yeah.
name is like Augustus.
Yeah, it's like you can't really get aggressive with Flexi, can you?
No.
Flexi.
Flex works. Though.
Yeah, it's good. It's stern. But at 6, I got that. And then through school, all my teachers call me Flex. All my mother and father call me Flex. Because I made sure, because, you know, you can't be calling me James around my friends. So James was what everybody knew me as,
Yeah.
family members. But Flex is what my parents used to call me. My dad was a coach, too.
So do you hear James now and you're like, someone around fucking knows what's
well,
up?
yeah.
Who the fuck is in here?
Nobody really. Oh, it's amazing because, again, going off the point, and I have terrible ADD, so you're not helping me whatsoever. James is a name I don't really hear over here much unless my mother's calling, my father's calling. We go by, my full name is Stephen James Lewis, so we go by our middle names, just like my brother Luke.
Right.
My brother's full name is Jonathan Luke Lewis. So TSA call me Stephen. So in America, if I'm going by my legal name, they call me by my first name, Stephen. But again, picking up on the nickname Flex, that was transitioned all the way through school. I went through college and everything else, and rugby was really my predominant choice of sport. I done track and field. I run for my country, and I played at a high level for rugby, but at 12 years old, and sorry, let me backtrack before that. I remember seeing jacked up physiques for the first time.
Okay.
WWF.
That's the first place.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is this? I remember coming down. My uncle was older than me, and he was watching this wrestling like 2 or 3 in the morning because that's the time they'd put it on. It was too violent. And there was Ultimate Warrior. There was Macho Man.
So jacked.
There was Hulk Hogan. There was Mr. Perfect. There was all these guys and
British Bulldog,
and all these guys back then were big guys doing crazy things, and it blew my mind. And then obviously at the same time, sort of correlated with the same timeline was Arnold's movies. Rambo's out. There was Jean-Claude Van Damme. So
the late 80s were an interesting period of like male physique in film.
It was like everybody had to be jacked to be the lead.
Like Arnold. Yeah. Well, as soon as he came on board, and then everyone tried to replicate.
Yeah. Things like, and somewhat of a surge, and it's coming back now with The Rock really flying the flag for people right now.
He looks unreal.
He looks amazing.
The thing, whatever he's doing with the Black Adam superhero thing, like, he's in incredible shape.
Yeah, he to me is just an incredible human being. I have a relationship with him, and the guy is just a gym rat. He loves bodybuilding. He loves talking about gym pieces. He has, several Arsenal pieces in every one of his gym. He has the traveling circus.
He's got the traveling gym. Yeah, I know some people who've been on movie set stuff like that with him, and he's essentially we'll open that traveling, those 2 18-wheelers that travel that make his gym up. That I know. He'll open it for everyone except for when it's his time to train.
Yeah,
and of course, you just have to with a time schedule.
Yeah. But what a phenomenal human being. I'll be honest, there's not many people that just impress me as much as him.
I'm with you.
For just how much money he has and how much lack of time he has, but how much time he puts into certain people. Like, I'll get a random message from him that he's seen an Instagram post of mine, and it's so meaningful. Like, he'd leave me like a long voice note. And I'm like, wow, like...
but I've learned that too, like, because the handful of people that have been around like that do reach out and still stay that thing, it's a quality of message and not quantity. Like, I know I'm not going to hear from you every
once
week.
A week, twice a week,
but
whatever.
Once a quarter, if I get a message, like, I know it...
Yeah.
It's fucking cool, right?
Yeah.
And then I know how it makes me feel.
Yeah.
And so that makes me want to do it to the people that
absolutely
perhaps I could be that for.
I couldn't agree more. He's definitely somebody I put on my inspirational top 3 list of all time.
Incredible.
And obviously I'm a fanboy too, right? So when I get a little message from him, I look at it in my phone and I'm like, all right, okay.
Nice.
Let me breathe before I click this.
Yeah. No, it's fucking
cool,
unreal. He's one of the most popular dudes on the planet.
Yeah. And what he does and how professional he is and everything he does, And you know what? Most people celebrate greatness when somebody's passed. And, what this guy does on the daily with, the unknowns, the small little things, I think, again, we're going to hear so much more years later down the line of what he's really done for people's lives. I hope it's not before, his final days, God willing,
No, he seems pretty health focused too, right?
Yeah.
I think he's smart. And look, the guys that we lost at younger ages, whether the wrestlers or bodybuilders or whatever it is, like, I think the general public wants to be able to point the finger at anabolics as a cause for that. But we don't have any proof that that's the cause. Typically, guys that abuse any substance don't treat themselves well to begin with. And so it's alcohol on top of that. It's a shit diet. It's no sleep. It's a mental health issue. It's these other things that whatever chemical you've decided to taking isn't helping, but the chemical isn't the one that's fucking things up. But it's an easy scapegoat when, look, as a society, we like we like addressing and fixing the symptom and not the roots.
Yeah. Yeah, when I said that about The Rock, I wasn't meaning that he's unhealthy. Or
No,
living
no,
a
of course
healthy
not.
lifestyle.
I just
Okay,
meant
to
in
clarify
general,
that.
people that we lose too early.
Yes. You know, we've lost, and I personally have lost a lot of friends in 2020, a lot to mental illness. It's amazing just how many people have suffered for years and years, and mental illness and mental health wasn't addressed. Now, obviously, there's a lot of different campaigns. There's a different charitable places people can go and seek advice if they're feeling, a certain way. But us guys, especially us guys that got a bit of muscle, it's very hard for us to not be so macho. Well, and
I heard it described as a graffiti artist I really like, David Cho. And Dave Cho got really famous got hired by Facebook really early on and went and painted their office. So it was a graffiti artist that Zuckerberg hired when they first got a real office. And so he's supposed to get paid $60,000 for the job, and then Zuckerberg offered him stock instead.
Dang, you serious?
So he took
bro?
$60,000 in stock at Facebook.
Oh my gosh!
In 2003, and so David Cho's worth $200 million or something like that. And so one of the things that he wrote, he was really close friends with a bunch of other people, Anthony Bourdain being one, and as a guy who travels and does all the things that's my thing. He's the coolest guy on earth.
He's great. I love watching Anthony Bourdain.
And what David Cho had wrote about him mental health wise was, where does the world's most interesting man get to complain?
Yeah,
where do you feel the right to be able to say yo, I'm not happy?
Yeah. And
despite that it all on paper, I mean, who's got a cooler life than Anthony Bourdain on paper?
Look at Robin Williams.
I know, right? That you don't know. And so at some point, as a society, we have to decide that mental health and trauma aren't a competition, and that we're all dealing with shit, right? And so I even use that to the point of how many people reach out to me, whether it's injuries or knee or anything else, and say, hey man, my knees bother me, not like yours. And I always respond with something, but that doesn't make your knee not fucking hurt. You don't have my knee. It doesn't mean yours doesn't hurt. I mean, good luck telling yourself my elbow doesn't hurt because his is worse. That ain't how it fucking works.
Yeah.
It's okay that yours hurts. Let's figure out the progress instead of not talking about it.
We go back, just to go back on that mental health side of things. I've seen a lot of athletes that have put that brave face on, and I've either come through the other side better and not seeked help. I, for one, is one. And there's been some athletes that, we've lost because, to your point earlier, they didn't know where to go for help.
You don't know where to talk about.
And also, they might have opened up to some people, but it was in, spurts. So now them people are guilted by the fact that they never try to push it on. So during the... Well, there's been a few times where I've caught myself, being in a bad place. I'm so headstrong, and, from the outside in, people think, oh, he lives his great life, whatever else. But everybody suffers at some capacity. I think the biggest and darkest place for me was when Dallas passed.
That's tough, man. That's a training partner.
And
it's a brother.
He was a little brother. Me and my wife pretty much took him in, Obviously, there's a lot of people, Matt Johnson being one of the people who really, was the biggest brother to him, I would say.
Sure.
But I was there more so as a training partner and business advice, because he was a sponge. This kid was freaking amazing. Just the personality out the ass, funny. Everybody loved him. All the promoters wanted him. And he came to me, he was like, I don't know what to charge, I don't know what to do, should I go with this promoter? So it was all them, you know, he didn't want to make a bad step.
It's tough water to navigate on your own.
Yes.
And a lot of guys won't share information.
Yeah. So we've had, oh my gosh, I couldn't even, you know, we've had so many powwows, and, you know, we'd come to the house and we talk about this and the other. But it was mainly business and conducting yourself. And it's amazing for me to see Dallas, a shy Dallas. People don't know this. Dallas was very shy on a booth. Come through, gain a little confidence, interaction confidence, because you know how it is standing on the booth. You have to create personality. Some people might come up to you timid, but you got to get that out to them. Some people might, you know.
I've been very fortunate that that's been a very natural thing for me.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine learning it.
Yeah, it's hard. But he done it, you know, just like the commitment he put into the gym. He put the same thing into getting out of his creature comforts. And trust me, that wasn't a creature comfort for me too. It was like, hey, Flex, win a show. Here's a mic. I was like, I have to talk? It's like, you know, this is coming from a kid who had a really bad speech impediment as a young kid. So, yeah, I had to work hard to get rid of it. So, you know, going back to the whole Dallas thing, when he passed, it was very hard for me to allow myself to grieve. I had a lot of people around me. Now looking back, my brother was there, thank God. My wife was there. I had training partners there that sort of cotton-balled me, you know, and were there continuously to be like, hey, you okay? You okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. But I was hurting. And it was 3 weeks before the Olympia. So we went up to bury Dalius. We came back. Then we had that crazy hurricane that was supposed to take out my house.
Right.
So we boarded up the whole house. And then we had to leave 10 days before to get out to Vegas.
You've never even had a second to slow down to think about it.
No, it was just one of them bing, bang, boom. And now looking back, it was probably a little bit of a blessing because I didn't have that time to even think about it. But where it hit me was when I went to the Olympia. And, you know, Matt, you see my lines at the Olympia. I'm very blessed to have these big, long lines.
Sure.
And looking down that line, I just seen everybody crying. It was like the worst thing. Goosebumps. And everybody just standing there waiting to come and grieve. And I have to be stone cold. You know,
it's a long day, man.
Not stone cold. I had to be
professional,
understanding, and also not break down.
Yeah.
So I had to comfort all these people and say, you know, yes, you know, we use love, but this is for Dallas. And, you know, we went through the Olympia. I won. I went to Korea. I ended up, you know, getting on stage there. And then there was so much problems from me beating Hardy and his fans. And I had all the problems from, you know, on social media. I had to turn my social media off. My wife had problems, you know. It was just wild. So it was
the bodybuilding world's so interesting to me with all that.
It was bing, bang, boom. I hate to say it, but after all the dust settled, then it hit me. And then everybody had already sort of mourned and processed it.
And you haven't yet.
And then I was like, man, I want to cry.
Yeah.
And I couldn't. I'm too big. My wife's probably only seen me cry like a handful of times, 3 or 4 times.
I cry on a regular basis.
Yeah.
I just let it rip.
Man. I can get like to that point, but then I got to man up. There's some switch inside me that's like, you know.
Mine shifted a lot after starting to experiment more with psychedelics and stuff like that. Like it became something I'm more comfortable tapping into because they describe that feeling coming up, especially because psychedelics will bring it up. And what's coming is going.
Yes.
So pushing it down isn't helping process it. So even though it's going to be really uncomfortable and be this thing, let's go ahead and have it, but let's make space, you know, for a day that let's be able to sit and deal with this and take a moment and give it the respect that it deserves, but then let's move on.
Yeah.
Instead of halfway dealing with it for 5 years.
You know, I've had this conversation with 2 different people who, like yourself, have gone into a different path in life and are venturing into, you know, trying to better themselves. My worry is, with all that, it will take away that essence of of drive.
Doesn't work that way.
But again, this
Of course.
I'm worried about there's something inside me that is tenacious and aggressive to go after and get things. And whatever it is, it's definitely things I probably suppressed.
Sure.
But if I go down that rabbit hole, I feel like, okay, I'll probably have reflection and be like, it's time to retire.
Well, so think about, like, I've heard it talked about, right? That, like, that edge, right? And like you hear about it with comedians and people like that, this idea that, like, well, if I stop drinking or any of this, I can't write or I can't be funny. And it's a crutch because you're scared that if you're healthy, you can't work. And the way that I describe, at least my experience with psychedelics use, is the medicine, the plant medicine that gets used in the right setting, especially with someone who can facilitate it, you know, that knows how to navigate some of those waters and hold space and just be willing to communicate. If it's so strong that it can really help people at the bottom, and that's a lot of what it gets used for, there isn't anything out there that I can think of that saves people at their weakest and kills the strong. There isn't anything that does that. And this works the same way. It's never, I haven't met anyone who is on a path and successful in doing a thing that it made them go, holy shit, I just want to paint on rocks and live out in the desert. Like, that's not how it works.
That's what you were doing this morning, right?
That's exactly right. I take 10 minutes a day to get my rock painting in. But it's rocket fuel for the healthy, for the driven. It just eliminates distraction. And it allows you to kind of put perspective back to what's actually the important part of this and what is being driven by motivation that isn't here. In my experience, you know, and for me, the way I look at it is I'm interested in anything at this point that's going to make Matt Vincent better. Whatever enhances performance of a human, I'm in. And so that's the only thing I would say with my experience of it is I wouldn't have as much concern about that. In fact, the fact that you've considered that and contemplated how you would handle that is already so many steps ahead of someone who's callous and just being like, fuck it, I'll take a thing.
You know, with that subject alone, there's so much interest to that, and I've talked to many different athletes, or most so athletes have told me, because I was watching something that Justin Gaethje was talking about the other day, the fighter, and he was saying how his life has changed since doing that. Now, I don't know how they drug test that or what, but
you can't.
I guess you can't.
There's no good way. And also, like, I mean, like psilocybin with mushrooms is out of your system in less than 24 hours, and like it just doesn't hold.
I've never done anything like that, so it's a whole new world. But I've watched and I've read quite a lot of different things on it. My interest to it really stemmed from a personal friend that actually went on an ayahuasca trip. And he said that he tapped into some things that he suppressed, he didn't even know. And it blew my mind because this guy is my boy. You know? It's all very well watching something on TV and watching a documentary or something that you really don't know. And they push an agenda, they're pushing something. This was somebody I knew personally, and
he didn't have an agenda.
No. His agenda was, I'm not well. And I want to know what is suppressing me from going and getting certain things.
Why would I stand in my own way of a possibility of happy?
So he was telling me about all these people he's met there, and again, me personally, it's not my time.
Sure.
Has the seed been planted?
I think that's a great response.
Has the seed been planted? Absolutely. I think knowledge is power.
Right.
A couple of years ago, a decade ago, you'll be looking at THC and frowning upon that.
Everyone did.
Now, it's
the most useful supplement I take.
It's, whatever.
And I think that it deserves to be spoke about in that sense, right? Like when people ask me on social media, what supplements are you taking? I say, I'm taking testosterone. I take Anavar, take Samastron. I take THC, take CBD. I take psilocybin. I mention everything I fucking take because it's all supplements. I don't consider any of it not that. I mean, the same way I take food, I'm putting fuel in the machine to get the best operating I can out of it.
Yeah.
And at least I want to take away some of the mystique because it isn't magic. It can help you if your shit's together. In the same way people want to believe testosterone is some fucking magic thing when, dude, it only works well if the rest of the shit's together.
Yeah.
If you're training, if you're sleeping, if you're eating, if you're fucking smart, if you're hydrating, it's only really good.
Exactly.
Then.
Yeah. But with anything else, right? People think, there's so many magic cures, so many magic
people
pills.
Want magic.
Yes.
And the truth is there's not any.
They want something to take, to ingest, to do whatever.
Because they think it's a shortcut.
Yeah, to skip several steps. If that was the key,
we'd all be using it.
I would be, right. I came here at 19 years old and slept on a sofa. If I knew it was a shortcut to get it to what I want, trust me, I would have fucking looked for it. But I come to realize fast enough that, you put whatever you want in life, you got to put in that work ethic and put in that workload.
Anything. Whether that's relationships or friendships or fucking whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like no one's handing it to you.
I've been blessed to have the upbringing I've had. I don't come from a financially blessed family. My brother obviously spoke about it. My dad worked in steel for 40-something years. My mum was a nurse. She was unfortunately written off because both her hips went. She tried to hide it for the longest time.
Well, the English don't let you guys get successful, right? Isn't that kind of part of the plan?
I don't know. I can't comment on that. I got to stay neutral.
I understand.
Yeah, but my mother and my father doing doublers. I don't know if you know what doublers are. Basically, you work, back to back. Yeah. Two shifts back to back. And then he worked what's called continental shifts. So 1 week he was mornings, 1 week he was afternoons, 1 week he was nights. Talk about a body fuck up.
That's the worst thing you can possibly do to someone. If you're going to work nights, work nights.
Yeah, I know. And he never heard my dad complain.
A 3-week rotation.
And I was a kid, coming home. I was fucking wild. My brother would probably tell you, I was wild, full of energy and come home screaming, yelling, whatever. And my dad was in bed. My mother said, "Shut up, my father's in bed." But I didn't.
You don't get it.
You don't process that. No. You don't know what work is.
Well, you don't have any perspective. You're a kid, right? The same reason kids cry over spilled milk.
Yeah,
the reason they do is because that's literally the worst thing that's ever happened.
Well, you don't also appreciate like hard-earned money. So, you're thinking, why can't I get this? Like, can you save for this for me to get? You don't realize. And then at a very young age, I started discovering, probably too young to really, compared to my other friends, I feel like I understood money's worth very young, and how the fact that I had to, if I wanted it, I had to go and get it.
Well, growing up without not a lot of it, that typically happens.
And just to clarify, my mother and father worked their asses off. They put us through school. They put us on rugby tours. We had good, we had new clothes and shoes. We weren't never
and there's
out.
Four of you?
Three brothers.
You have three
including myself and then a sister. But growing up, I remember.
Dude, a family of 6, right?
Total, yeah.
Total 6 people.
Yeah.
It's just me and Bonnie.
Yeah.
I don't know where the fuck I would pay for 4 other people who don't have incomes to live in my house.
Fucking eating and shit.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Toilet paper is expensive, for fuck's sake.
I know. So, but my mother and father done an absolutely amazing job, but they taught me so much about work ethic without even talking to me about work ethic. There was no preachy person say, if you want something in life, you got to work for it. It was actions. So I learned young enough that if I wanted something, I had to get it. So I remember thinking, okay, how can I make money? At 12 years old, there was a guys going up and down the street with the paper routes. And then across the street was the end of the other paper route. So I got friendly with these guys, a little bit older than me. And I was about 11 then. So as soon as I turned 12, I think you could do your paper route. So I went to these guys, like, when you finishing? And they said, I'm going to finish at the end of this year. And somebody said, I'm going to finish in 2 months. Okay, I want the paper round. So I got his paper round. I got this kid's paper round. And what I done is then I started getting the other paper rounds. So I had one predominant paper round. And then the other paper rounds, I sold to other kids. So I took a cut
Nice
off the
work.
yeah. So I mean, when you're young and that you get in that type of cash, you know, you think, oh my gosh, I'm a
unstoppable.
baller.
What are you making?
Yeah.
$30 a day? It's
Oh my
fucking
God.
unstoppable.
Well, it's like $30 a week.
Right.
But it was money, you know, and I thought, wow, that's easy, you know.
Yeah.
So then that money, I went to a pet shop and I bought a male finch and a female finch, and what they do, they get it on, they create
Made
other birds.
finches.
So in the end, I would then breed, and all these little finches I would sell back to the pet shop. So
No shit.
I was selling, I had about 100 birds at one point in time, all breeding, all shagging the shit with each other in the shed. And I would take them, the finches, the babies, and I would sell them to the pet shop. In fact, it was so many I'd sold, the guy was like,
We
I
can't
need a
sell
break.
any more fucking
Like,
finches,
so-
man.
But that was a little business too. And then I realized that, okay, if I want to make a little bit more money, I got to progress. Finches are costing, I was selling finches for £1 each.
Yeah.
Back to the pet shop, they were selling for £5. A nice little markup for them.
Yeah.
But for me, you know, you're selling, you know, 50,
Well, and
60
finches are showing up for free, basically, because they're making more finches. You're just figuring out how to clean cages and feed them.
They were little horn dogs too. They would get it on anywhere. They would try and make a nest in any type of corner. So in the end, I had to take all the bowls out, all the nesting bowls, and slow my roll down. But I soon realized that to progress on, I had to start looking at different kinds of birds. So I went from finches to canaries,
Okay.
to parakeets. I was in parakeets for a little bit. And then I got into kakarikis and sanconias, they call them, beautiful birds. They can speak. And I hand-reared them birds. So you're talking now, you've gone from $1 a bird to now $400 a bird.
Okay.
So now you're talking about some serious money.
And investment of time now, because
and I'm 13, 14, 15 years old, bro.
running this bird sanctuary.
Little entrepreneur at the back there in the shed.
Lexi's bird
Yeah.
shop. I fucking dig it.
But here's the side swipe I'm going to give you. I realized that was fun and all, and I was making quite a lot of money, and I loved it. But I had a neighbor that was behind me that had racing pigeons.
Racing pigeons.
And this guy, I just watch his birds. He'd let them out, and they'd fly around and around, and then they would go all the way to the beach, because we could see the beach from my house. It was in the distance, but you could see tiny little specks, and they would come back. They would come flying around. I was fascinated by their homing instinct.
Right.
So I went over to this guy's house.
Yeah, I just don't understand quite how you trust a bird to let it out of the cage and then it returns.
It's amazing, bro.
I don't understand how cats come back home.
Yeah,
So I don't.
well, it's all food-based.
Right. Okay.
So it's all food. They know.
They come to where it's easy.
Yeah, and also when you go homing pigeons, if they create like a nest within that shed, that's their house, that's their draw, that's where they're coming back to feed the chicks, to see their partner or whatever. So I remember going over to this guy's house, and I actually delivered papers to him. So he would have this pigeon book, and I delivered to him every 2 weeks, and it always made it a day late because I'd take it home, read it, then deliver it to him. And shout out to my neighbor.
Yeah, right.
And I'd go over. I got friendly.
It's probably
with him.
not a felony anymore.
No,
I'm sure.
I hope not. It's been about 20-something
Yeah, you're
years.
good. Statute of limitations in
fucking
Wales.
knew that guy.
fucking kid was
Yeah.
reading my bird book.
It's all bent. So I would go over to his house when I was delivering the papers, and I got friendly and started talking to him and talking about the pigeons. And he was like, "You should come over here on a Saturday." No, I'm a kid,
Sure.
15 years old. You know, I've got my own social time. You know, girls are a big part of my life. But I was like, you know, this is quite a lot of money in birds. So in the pigeons, so money to me was a big drive at a young age. I'm not going to lie.
Well, look,
Because I
money's
didn't have
options.
it. Yeah.
Not having money, right? Mm-hmm. And then having enough to be able to make decisions changes stuff.
Yeah. And I seen this as a very interesting hobby, exciting, but then one I could actually make quite some money on. So I ended up going over to this house, understanding a little bit about the culture. I went to one of the clubs, and, you know, this is kid walking in, 15 years old, and everybody else was like,
Yeah, of
40
course.
plus, ancient.
I would guess pigeon racing isn't a young man's
it's not
game.
a young man's sport. So, but I seen that as an opportunity. I seen that as a challenge. So there's this young guy. They were very nice to me. They brought me in and they said, you know, we'd love to help you out. So I had my shed created. I got really into the system of pigeon racing, and I was still training, doing a little bit of training back in the day.
Sure.
And I'll keep this very short, but you train pigeons, you take them to destinations, and they learn how to fly back.
That was about my next question.
Yeah,
is,
so
all right.
you take them, you basically get your flock of birds, and you take them 10
You
miles
load them up
away.
in the car.
10 miles away. Then you take them 20 miles away, and then 40 miles away. And then you've got different kinds of racing pigeons that are short, fast sprinters, middle distance, and long distance. And it's all in the bloodline. I mean, I'll use
Now, would you bet and like?
Well, yeah.
So you go compete now.
Yeah.
So you and Mike Tyson essentially have gotten into this pigeon game early on.
Yes, and that's something. When I heard about Mike Tyson having pigeons,
He's out here, isn't he?
he is. I'm using my phone not to text anybody right now to show you something.
Sure.
And my first race, I think I came 5th, which was phenomenal. When you got thousands of pigeons all being launched at the same time, great.
Yeah.
Everybody in the gym, in the club, great. Second race, I won.
Whoa.
My birds were on creatine. My birds were swear down. My birds were jacked out of the fucking ass.
love it.
But you can do that.
You're allowed.
Yeah.
There's no bird drug testing, no WADA.
You can buy
WADA or whatever it would be.
the
Birda.
peas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can buy this is creatine for me.
Well,
for
same
birds.
thing with like if you raise deer, right? They sell protein for deer to help put size on them.
And I soon found out, I got into the pigeon racing when I started more so getting into chicks, the other kind of girls. But
Fair enough.
It's not exactly a...
Birds.
Yes. So I'm going to read this to you right now. A 2-year-old Belgian racing pigeon sold at auction for 2.6 million last weekend in a bidding frenzy. 2.6.
For a pigeon. For a fucking pigeon, mate.
So when I found out about the money that's involved with
Now,
birds,
do you see that bird and you're like, that's fucking a beauty.
I fucking wouldn't let him out of the shed. Yeah, but again, it's a different world, right? So it's a world that not a lot of people knew that I was into.
I don't know shit about it.
But so many people tell me you need to write a book because there's been so many chapters of my life, but every one of them, and I think I'll summarize everything now, every one of them has taught me something. Every one of them has been able to give me perspective, give me a different outlook on life.
I think a book would be brilliant from you once you're done competing.
Yeah. But it's also allowed me to have conversations like this.
Yeah.
Because if I was just a fucking straight head and my whole life was pretty much bodybuilding and, I got up and, I'd done this and the other, I've had many different goals and dreams throughout my life, and they've all shifted. Bodybuilding became my life at 19 years old after I'd done my second show. My first show I done for a free gym membership. I had no intentions of ever being a bodybuilder. I had no
just
intentions.
trying to train for free.
Yeah. I just wanted to get a free gym membership and win the junior Mr. Wales. And I knew I was up against phenomenal athletes at that age. Bodybuilding was big when I was coming up through the ranks, and everybody wanted to win that title. Mr. Wales was...
What do you think made it pop in the UK like that?
I don't know, because...
Or had it already popped here? And so like the influence of Arnold and everything that was already here had spread.
Arnold was always iconic, and he was always on the walls of the gyms, but everybody was more so focused on the Mr. Wales title.
Interesting.
It's like, that's Mr. Wales. That he came third in the British or whatever. So that was a really cool thing to grow up in that culture. I grew up in a powerlifters gym. We had a Mr. Wales in there, which I ended up training with, and then the gym owner pretty much said, like, hey, listen, that poster up there, I want you to compete in the Mr. Wales. That's the year that I didn't end up competing, but the seed was planted. I ended up going to the show. Now, at this point in time, I was buying Flex magazines. No intentions to compete, but I got really into it, the training and everything.
Well, that's how obsession works. You just start gaining knowledge as much as you can, as fast as possible.
But I was like, I'm never going to look like this, because nobody ever thinks they can, right?
Right.
And also... that's not a path I'm going to go down. I'm not going to stand up on stage in my Speedos.
In your underwear, right?
Yeah,
what a fucking weird thing.
Yeah, but then it sort of became me. As the years went by, and I was training for that show, I went and seen my first ever bodybuilding show, which is the Mr. Wales, and I seen Neil Hill competing. He won the overall. Stacked show. And the electric from the audience back in them days was wild. It was like a pop concert.
Well,
People
there's
had
so much
horns,
less
everything.
distraction, right? Because
Yeah.
we don't have cell phones, so not everyone in the audience is
Yeah.
looking on their own shit. The people that have
Yeah.
shown up want to see what's happening.
Yeah, but bro, you should have heard the crowd, man, of these Mr. Wheels. There was air horns, there was just whistles. And they-
Vuvuzelas?
Yeah, there were just people would just make the craziest noise, and people would be, there was so much energy there. Plus, there was alcohol, which
good.
always helps. Oh, it was
Definitely, it's
bar
good
there.
for a crowd.
Yeah, it definitely helps, and us Welsh like to drink, So, yeah. So I remember stepping on stage for my first ever show, walking out, and Neil Hill was the head judge. So I never met Neil before.
Right.
Neil was a head judge, and Kamal El Ghani was the special judge who,
way.
guest posed at my first ever show. How crazy is that full
That's
circle,
wild.
right? And I'm walking out, and people are blowing their horns. All my friends came from college, and it was electric. And I remember my training partner. This is how wild this is. He was competing too, so I don't know what he's seen, but he walks back. He says, "Hey, bro, somebody just went on stage." And he was like this. He was like flustered. You've got to give it your all. This kid just went on stage, and I was like, "That was fucking me, mate. What the hell's wrong with you?" So, because he didn't even see it, he heard it. So he was like, "You got to go out and yeah." And I was like, wow. So
The crowd response was
Yes.
so big that he's like, whoever the fuck that
you've
was.
got to go and kill it. And I was like, I just came off stage. So I was all legs back then. So that's what a lot of people were talking about was my legs. From here on down, I had like a Mister's open class legs. From here on up, I was a 19-year-old.
Well, the years of
bodybuilder.
fucking rugby and track play nicely, right?
Yes, definitely. Being short too for the calves.
Well, not only that, but like you're a sprinter.
Yes.
And so it builds a different style muscle.
It definitely, but I also loved leg days.
Yeah.
Leg days were my favorite, and also that was the most hated part for a lot of bodybuilders in the gym that I train in. My training partner, Steve Naylor, who ended up going on to win the British, the Welsh, and the Europeans, he was looking for a training partner for all these years because every leg day, always the excuses came out, right? So him and I just clicked, and we trained together for a long time. We traveled the world together competing. And going back, I'm sorry, to the Mr. Wales, my first ever show, it was a one and done. I won.
Or that was the plan.
I won. All my friends came from college. They knew me. They knew Flex of the cheeky, Jack the lad. They wanted him back. Because, dieting,
of
it
course.
sucks it out of
They
you, right?
want you back.
They're like, oh,
Can we go
Flex.
back to the pub now?
Yeah, they want me to be back to,
No, you can't.
so they came to the show. They were like, "This is it now," and they knew I had a sweet tooth. I remember I used to eat like 3 or 4 Snickers bars a day, every day, bro. When I was in college, and they brought this bag full of chocolate, and that's the last thing I really wanted to eat. I just wanted to drink.
You were fucking
I just wanted
dehydrated.
Gatorade and whatever it was. But they give me this big bag of chocolates. I'm walking back to the car with my mother and father. Just about to get in, I'm standing outside. Clear as day. I remember this now. I hear this guy come up to me. "Hey, mate, congratulations. You look fucking phenomenal, mate. You're going to do the British, right?" And I was like, "No, I said, in all respects, I know who you are. Big fan. I really appreciate it. But I said, I'm going to go back to rugby." And, I gave him the whole speech. I remember it.
Yeah.
And my mother and father were there too, and they shook his hand and everything else. And you say, "Listen, you've got to go to the British. You've got to represent your country of Wales." And I was like, oh my gosh, he's saying the wrong things to me. They're writing the wrong things to me.
Yeah, of course, right. Like, I can't fucking not do this now, you
You
bastard.
got to fly the flag. And they start saying, like, we got to kick the fucking asses of the English, the Scottish, and the Irish. They're kind of come over, bro. You're the biggest hope for
I'm
us, the
always
British.
sad. I don't have that feeling about America.
Oh, bro, I got that for Wales, bro.
I know, and my
really do.
Icelandic friends have it, my Scottish friends have it, and like,
Yeah, man.
I don't ever find it's strange because I don't ever find anytime I see them like Icelandic flag or the Welsh flag like or anything like that. I don't ever find it odd.
Yeah.
But the idea of like me walking in with an American flag on my back,
got
I
it.
feel like a twat.
Really?
I do, and I don't.
Wow.
I wish I didn't.
Yeah.
But
We'll inherit you
look,
for a while.
it's less a problem with America and more a problem with most Americans that I don't particularly care for.
Got you.
Or the people that want to do that, I
Yeah.
don't want to be associated
I got
with.
you. Well, us Welsh, we're very prideful of that.
Hell
It's
yeah.
really come from the rugby stuff.
Well, but you guys, you're such a fucking underdog of a country.
Yeah, with a small list.
Yeah, right.
But we
and
kick ass.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. I think that's it too. We're a small country that's taken on the world. And in the case of bodybuilding, right, you and going back to what I was saying, you know, the whole fly the flag for the nation, you know, you can do it for us, you know, started bleeding into my sort of psyche. I was like, you know what, yeah.
Now with that said,
for Wales.
with what I said.
Wait, I'm going to give you the kicker. I'm going to kick you the guy is Neil Hill. And to this day, he's still my coach 18 years later.
No way.
Because he said...
You've never changed coaches?
No. He came out to me in the parking lot and he said, who helped you for your diet? I go, I done it myself. I bought a Flex magazine. I went through it. It was Gunther Scherkamp's diet. Because back in the day, nobody used to post their diets. It's so secret. So I looked at it and I go, okay, well, fuck it, I'm not eating all that food. So I took half of it out and I, honest to God, ate pretty much a depletion diet for like 12 weeks. I was living hell.
So just on a caloric deficit for 12.
I never in my life have done such a hard diet, but I'm such a driven son of a bitch. I was thinking free membership, you know, that's a lot of money. You could, you know, wow, you can do this. And the hardest of days, I went to the gym and people would look at me and go, when do you eat carbs last? I was like,
never heard of them.
Yeah. Oh, you need to eat 2 potatoes. And there was these people just giving me random advice, and I'd follow it. You know, I'd do this and do that, but it got me to where I was, and I thought myself, fuck this. So Neil was like, listen, let's circle back on this. I'd love to help you do it right. And we can go to the British Nationals in 4 weeks' time, a different bodybuilder. Mate, I was 8 pounds heavier at the British Nationals and fucking shredded.
Well, your body's so depleted, right? That like as soon as you put fire, like gave it fuel for that fire, it just was like, sweet, we'll grow.
So Neil lived an hour away from me, and he lives in a place called Tenby, which is a beautiful part of Wales.
What are you weighing at this time? Like
oh my gosh, probably 170.
Okay.
Yeah. All my weight is in my legs.
Sure.
So I get
hard to push you
Neil's.
over.
And I get to Neil's. It was a hell of a drive. And I get there, and in his original house, because Neil was prepping a few people, he had put these unforgiving lights in his kitchen, like show lights.
Okay.
Yeah, he designed it, created his kitchen, and he put these little spotlights in his kitchen. So I get there. First of all, he goes, what the fuck have you been doing in the last couple of days? Because I went to town. I did. Yeah. He said, I have a couple of days off the diet, but nobody knows what a rebound is. You don't really appreciate. I had a rebound, the worst than the last one I've ever done. And he knew it was just water weight. So he sits down and I tell him what I've been eating, and we're writing it all down, and he's going to town, blah, 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 blah. And he looks like this in the most monotone face. Fucking shit, and throws this piece of paper over my head. Bear in mind, I've only just met this guy properly. I know who he is and what he's done and what he's achieved. And he throws this piece of paper right over my head, and he goes, this is what we're going to do. Wrote it down, and
just basically tells you everything that worked is shit.
He was done. This is the funny thing. He wrote a whole A4 size paper. Okay, He could have just stopped. Let's be honest. He could have fucking stopped. Or just said, you know what? Let's say he wrote it all out.
He could have got through the first sentence and been like, this isn't ideal. Let's toss it out.
Exactly. Well, so what do you have after? 50 grams of protein. Fucking shit. Right over my head. And I was like, man, this guy's crazy, but I like him. And we went to the British. We ended up winning that title.
Winning it?
Yeah, against I was a year young, too. I was 19 against guys who were 21.
So is this like a juniors?
Yes, juniors. Okay. Juniors. There was no teen. It was just juniors. Juniors and teens are lumped in together, so it's basically 21 and under. So
you at this point, you've got to at least admit to yourself that I have a propensity to do well at this.
Yeah.
You've done 2 shows, you've won both of them. One with a shotgun approach of how to get ready for it. And the other one with some focus and immediately see progress.
Yeah. It was commitment. It was a consistency to my day, and I sort of lapped it up. I've never had that type of commitment or consistency to anything. I've had commitment to rugby, but when the higher the level, the more intricate things you need to be doing. You know, there was nobody preaching about rest and this and that. You know, when you're an amateur coming up, it's like, okay, I'm going to train, then I'm going to train rugby and train sprints, and This was the first time that I had a consistency to my day.
And so you're not training rugby anymore at this point.
I was still playing rugby.
You're still playing rugby too.
Because doors are opening for me in rugby. I had an opportunity to actually go to England and get an apprenticeship with what would be the Harlequins, which is a big rugby team.
Big club.
Yeah, big rugby team. And they wanted me to play, and I decided to stay local. And I was, even a little bit prior to me competing, I was playing for the college, who to this day have internationals that I'm friends with that play for Wales, my country, either retired, because, rugby's a very young man's
game, of course, right?
If you manage to get through your late 20s, you're doing phenomenal.
It's funny for me now, like anytime I catch like an NFL game and you see like offensive linemen and I'm like, the old guy there's 24. It's like, fuck, I'm old, man. Like I'm officially old now that I look at the NFL and they all look like kids.
Yeah, that's true. I was watching the rugby game, the Welsh game against England. I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, these guys are young,
Yeah. No, we're just old.
But busy, yeah, I know. But there's a couple of the old heads that are still there that played with me or against me when I was in college. And my college, that's one of the reasons why I stayed local. My college was a big rugby college. So we had a lot of athletes that came from England to this area of Wales, and a lot of athletes that came from Wales that got scouted into this college team. And I played for the college, and we won the British colleges, which is the biggest accolade you can do in rugby. But politically, I had some real shitbag fucking issues with scouts and stuff, and a lot of scouts would push their own. In one case, I broke my elbow, right, and I had a comeback. This is my return comeback, and one of the scouts that came to watch me ended up recruiting his nephew, who wasn't even in the actual game. And I remember I had a phenomenal game, so I was like, I don't know what else I could have done, but everything happens for a reason, right?
Right. Well, and if nothing else, look, if people are involved, things get screwy.
Yeah.
Because there's an opinion, there's an agenda, there's an idea, If two people seem equal and one of them's my buddy, I'm probably going to try to help my friend.
Of course. I mean, we're all going to be guilty of doing that.
Yep.
But when you're that young and your whole life at that point in time was rugby and what you were banking on and the paths were paved.
And some fucking stranger gets to make a decision on my progress of this. Fuck
it's
that.
Your life is, at that point in time, it's like, I'm done.
It's too much luck involved.
I'm done. So that really put a sour taste in my mouth. But, bodybuilding to me was never something I thought I was going to make money from. I never thought I was going to be making a career from, but I loved it. I'd play a rugby game, and God's my witness, I would go to the gym still with mud in my knees after the game with the socks on and everything. I just remember it now. And I was leg pressing, and the gym owner came over, was like, Flex, you got to get that shit off your knees. It's going everywhere. I'm sorry, but that's what I loved. Yeah. I would literally play a game, and as a winger, sometimes you're waiting for that ball all game. I get so frustrated. You go and look for it. You never get it. Most of the time, if I got the ball and I had some space, I would put a try on record. But even more so, I would go back to the gym after the game. I don't know why. I was called to the gym, and every time I was in there, it was just like, man, if there was a way of making money from this, and I didn't know.
Right.
I just loved it. I would go, as much as I could. Like maybe 4 or 5 times a week, and every time I stepped into that gym, I was like, man, what am I going to do today? Run around, I'll do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But I loved it.
Really loved it.
Yeah, and I still have that. Thank God. I've done things over the years to make sure that I never lose that passion.
What do you do to maintain that? Because I think people run into weird walls or whatever it is, and it's always trouble to kind of keep that fire lit, especially stoked and burning hotter. Balance.
I take time away from the gym. It's like being with, your girl, right? You and Bonnie hang out and travel a lot together.
Both work from home.
Me and my wife, the same. We work together. We see each other every single day. But when you're away from her, well, my wife, I'm sure the same Bonnie, you start really appreciating that person more.
Oh,
You
yeah.
start, you have them feelings. It's like, man,
You need some
I
space
miss
sometimes.
to appreciate.
Yep.
And it's the same for the gym. I take time off every single year. Every time I compete at the Olympia, I take about 3 months off.
3 months?
People don't even know.
Really? You take nothing.
6 weeks, I don't touch a weight. I've done 3 months in the past. Don't touch a weight. But it's normally about 6 weeks. And listen, if my physique goes to shit in 6 weeks, then I'm doing something wrong.
Right. In fact, I did that with Highland Games too. Every year, our season would end the last weekend of September. Mm-hmm. And then the only thing I had planned was I know I have a high volume block to kind of rebuild a base of shit before the next season starts. Mm-hmm. And my goal was to get 5 weeks of my 10 weeks of German volume training done before January 1st. So as long as I fucking kept it, I have to start December.
Yeah.
But I have October and November to do. I always treated it like October, I'm not doing shit.
Yeah.
And then November was I'd start reintegrating the gym, but it was just as simply do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. No focus. There's no let's not lift heavy.
Plans. Yeah.
Feel good.
Yeah.
That's it.
Throw weight around.
Just feel good when you leave.
I think this is something I inherited too. I would take, say we go back to the consistent 6 weeks off. And then when I get back into the gym, actually, let me describe them 6 weeks. The first week off was fucking hard because you got a consistent roll every single day. It's normally after a show too, so you're getting up for cardio, you're eating your first meal by a certain time.
The fuck do I do all day?
Yeah. And when it comes to taking the first week off, it's like you're a little lost, but okay, enjoy it. The second week was really hard because then it's like, man, okay, I kind of get used to not going to the gym now, but what do I do?
Right.
And then the third week wasn't as bad, and then you get into it, and then you found things to replace that distraction, that gym time, whatever it would be. And then when getting back in, it was always a struggle. It was like, oh my God, why did I take that time off? But it was so valued, and it's been able to...
You have to get the hunger back.
Yeah. It's also enabled me to keep that hunger and also... stay injury-free, I believe, because normally after a show, people push it so hard, it's so depleted, it's so dry. It's also giving your body a break, mental clarity. It's like I love this sport so much. I've got so much passion for it. But like I said, I do things like that. I also keep a lot of young guys. Not to sound weird, but
I understand.
But I got a lot of young,
blood
hungry
boys, if you will.
athletes. Yeah, a lot of young, hungry athletes in and around me at the Dragon's Lair. I've done it with the Florida location.
Yep.
And now in the Boca Raton, in the Las Vegas location, I've got pretty much the same crew of people. But I also like to bring in different athletes throughout the year. But it's not just young guys. Kamal Al-Ghani's done his camp for Mr. Olympia at my gym. The guy's phenomenal. I mean, I pushed him so hard that he brought such a different physique, this year at the Olympia. I didn't see anybody beating him. And obviously him and Sean went toe to toe, and it could have gone either way. But just having athletes that just have that drive. A lot of people lose it.
Sure.
And they're going into the gym because they have to, they're getting paid to. And that's why I revert back to the young guys, because they're not there yet.
No, they're not obligated.
They might have had a taste of something. They might not have won, but they want something so bad.
There's a difference mentality, right, between being on the gas pedal because you want more and doing a thing because you're afraid of losing your spot. There's a different motivation, and having the one that wants to be progress and growth is way better than the other because it's defensive.
Yeah. I mean, I got the gas pedal on it. I
Yeah.
know I do. I got really good people around me too, In my core, we were talking about Neil Hill of 18 years, He talks to me the same way as he did when he was like fucking 20s, From the outside in, you'd be like, Jesus. But I need that.
Is he over here now?
Yeah,
or
he's moved. When I moved to Vegas, I brought 11 people with me.
Whoa.
And I didn't strong arm a single one. I just said, hey, listen, I'm moving, heads up.
That's part of being
it's
the team.
Crew.
Yeah.
It's the crew. We all moved. We all uplifted and moved. And that was a beautiful thing to me. It just shows loyalty and both sides.
Matters.
Yeah. And with we were talking about Neil. He's relentless. He's a phenomenal coach. He's worked with several different athletes and still, he gets the best out of everybody. But if you hear the way he talks, you know, he's that coach. You know, everybody's got that coach, whether it's football, whether it's rugby. I've been around so many different coaches, and there's a style that gets the best of you. Some people are just aggressive, and there's no method. You know what I mean?
A good coach can figure out what your buttons are.
Yeah, he knows my buttons.
Like I don't want to be yelled at.
Yeah.
We can talk to each other like adults. I can find motivation in other ways. Like I don't need to be called shit or any of that. It just doesn't do it.
Doesn't
for
do
me.
it for me too.
No.
He also knows that he'll never get anything out from me from mentioning like a fellow athlete. You know what I get in my head mentioning names. You know, back in the day, we might have done it in the past. I was like, it does nothing for me.
Sorry. Yep.
Do you know what gets in my head? Well, I've got a lot of shit that I can untap, and I've said this before. I say it's like unlocking Pandora's box. My upbringing has a lot of stuff that I can channel into. Gone. And I don't utilize that until I'm in the gym. Big sets. You know, you're under something really heavy. You're trying to psychologically get yourself going and just focus in on what's in hand. I can open it up, and the boys know as soon as that heavy set is done, let me be.
I was a very, very similar competitor. Like, if you and I were competing and I'm between throws or doing anything like telling jokes and having a good time, you're in trouble because I'm loose and having a good time.
Yeah.
If I'm locked in and trying to focus, like I'm having a rough day. But I can turn it on. I need fucking 3 seconds.
Yeah.
I can flip that switch and be right in the zone and get it done, and then it's done.
I got a couple of go-to memories in my head.
Yeah.
You know, that obviously I'm not going to talk to. I'll just fucking turn it into, I can turn myself into a fucking asshole, maniac. But I can also
turn it off.
Turn that fuse off too.
Yep. It's a very, very valuable skill.
Yes. On some sets, of course, you know, I have to like, say doing rack pulls or something, or deadlifts, and you amp yourself up for that lift. As soon as I've done it, I'm not going to go back to my training partners and get the fucking pounds and stuff, which I do in other things.
I need a minute.
You know, I'll walk because it's just that decompression. But that, again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier too. There's things in my past that has kept that competitive edge and has allowed me to progress to where I am. It also allows me it's also pushed me as a business guy too. But when I'm done and dusted with bodybuilding, that segue from retirement is going to be a very interesting one.
It's an interesting one. I got to talk to Jay about it quite a bit yesterday.
Yeah, and he's done it right.
And Jay was smart about it the whole way through too. You know, which I mean seems to be things are going well for you. So I'm excited to see what you do on the back end. I mean, do you have any interest in like supplements or doing any of that, or it's an obvious, right?
Yeah. I hate to be the cliche.
Of course.
I like to be different. So as of today, no interest.
Right. It's the same way I've always felt about it. Like I don't care that much about supplements. Like I like that there's people that make quality stuff.
Yes.
Yamamoto. I'm not passionate about it.
I have my own line through Yamamoto. I don't know if you know that or not. And Yamamoto is such a phenomenal company, and how they source their ingredients. And, you know, let's be honest, U.S. companies versus companies overseas are two different companies.
For sure.
And I'm not knocking the U.S. companies, but they're just put together differently. There's different rules and regulations over here compared to Europe. And being with Yamamoto, how they source their ingredients and how they do things differently is one of the reasons why I signed to them. I didn't sign for a year. And when I left BSN, I left, not anything else. I left BSN. There was a lot of changes over there. The old guard who was there when there was bodybuilding, the Ronnie Colemans, the Dennis Wolfs, they sort of all exit out, and then corporate came in. And you're talking about suits and ties and people who have no clue, and you're talking to somebody on an athlete's level, and they've just come from what's it called, Cromel or whatever.
They're just too disconnected. They don't know the life.
You know, these people were coming from Zumba. They were coming from is it Cromel, the cheese factory, whatever it is?
Carmel?
Is it Carmel? Either way, they were just coming from a corporate world, and they didn't know, and I just couldn't see myself with them. So I took a year off. I didn't sign with a company for a whole year. I lived off my own savings. I started Sinister Labs at the same time, and that was obviously a functional foods company. But I didn't sign with the company for a year, and it took me quite some time. I had amazing offers from
course.
different companies. I'm very blessed, but I thought myself, the next company I'm with, it's going to be different. And I obviously want to stand behind a company that's doing things differently. And that's what Yamamoto done. So that's one of the reasons why I went with Yamamoto. And what a phenomenal company. They're based out of Italy. And, they believe in me as well, more than any company I've ever been with.
That goes a long way. Like
it does.
I've worked with a various number of supplement companies through my career too, and then like now I've landed on I work with ONNIT because where I'm at in my life and what I'm trying to improve on, I don't want to take a protein powder anymore. I can eat food.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to bulk. I'm not trying to do that thing. And so I want to take stuff that helps me think better or digest better or sleep better or helps my joints feel better. Those are the supplements I'm interested in at this point, right?
Yeah, I'm getting that.
Yeah.
A couple of years' time.
Yeah.
But what were we talking about? We were talking about
the afterlife.
The afterlife, yeah. So going back to Yamamoto, and I want to be a product plug, but when I had to take off last year's Olympia.
Right.
We were talking about mental health earlier, and this is where my ADD kicks in here. I caught myself going down a path of me being like, fuck, blah, blah, blah.
Well, it's your first one you've missed in how many years?
Oh my gosh. I've qualified and I took off 2019 to focus on 2020. And then the 2020 I had to...
injury.
Yeah, there was a few things that were going on. I had my shoulders, all these things that come from rugby days, shoulders, knees, elbows. And I had the incredible ability to get this opportunity to go to Columbia.
To do the BioXL people.
BioAccelerator.
Yeah, I talked to him for a little
amazing.
bit. Yeah.
And I got on the phone prior to all this. They talked me through the procedure, what was going to happen. And myself and my wife were both going to go. And we were actually trying to move out to Las Vegas at the same time. So I ended up going to Columbia with Ryan Loco, who captured the whole thing, took pictures and stuff. And it was just a great experience. I went out to get stem cells.
I've had 5 or 6 people that have gone. Ed Cohn's gone.
Yes.
My buddy Jason Ellis has been down there to work with the same people. And like
same place, BioAccelerator.
BioAccelerator, same people.
It's a full list of people. In fact, when I was there, people were messaging me. Chris Gethin was one that said to me, bro, I'm so proud that you're there. This changed my life. And a variety of different people all said the same thing. For the first couple of weeks, you're going to be like,
what's the deal?
Yeah. Was this even worth it? And then as you're going into the months, at 3 months is where I am right now, you start seeing change. And I'm seeing change.
Really?
Yes. I'm about 3.5 months. My elbows have never been this good.
Just don't hurt. They just feel smooth.
Oh, bro, I had such bad tendonitis in my elbows. I mean, it was part and parcel of my day. I was like, oh, my shoulders hurt. But now I'm just like, Jesus Christ, my elbows are fucked. Because now that pain is gone. It's like, man. Because, again, I've got a disability just to block it out and keep moving.
Well, but because it builds over such a slow pace, you don't realize how fucked things are. It's the same way I try to talk to people about like HRT and hormone replacement is like you don't know that you don't feel well because it's gotten here really slowly.
That's right.
And then a few months later, you're like, I feel fucking great.
Yeah.
I can think and I'm focused and I'm driven and whatever.
And you can forget how bad it was. But I knew how bad things were. I mean, I'd always focus on what has the most pain.
Sure.
And that was the thing that needed the most immediate attention.
Typically shoulders.
So my shoulders were, at one point in time, and this is how I got to the stem cells. I've torn both labrums here from, rugby and bodybuilding, whatever. And they were just at that point where they throbbed continuously. And at night, I got it the worst. So I couldn't relax. So I'd sleep literally with 2 pillows under my arm. And then as soon as I turned, I'd wake up. So I was waking up in the morning exhausted.
And then you're not sleeping.
Not sleeping. And I was working with the Miami Dolphins doctors, Dr. Ruggiero and Dr. Uribe. I had consultations with them and absolutely amazing doctors, very anti-operation. And they was like, listen, we can go a cortisol route. We don't like that.
No,
but
it's too temporary.
But you know what, bro? I done it.
Well, I did a bunch with my knee and hip too. Like that.
I was in so much pain.
You have to.
I was in so much pain that I was like, fuck that. I'm never going to do that. I caught myself doing it. And you know what? I had that shot in my shoulders, both shoulders. And they done it with ultrasound and a more Pacific area.
Yeah, same way with the knee
Yeah.
when I had it.
And dude, I slept like a baby that first night. I thought this thing was a miracle. You forget. And then I was trying to be conscious about training with cortisol shots.
Right, because
you forget.
They just got rid of the pain.
Yeah.
What's still fucked in there is fucked, and you're
still
just
fucked.
destroying it.
And I was going, yeah. So the first couple of weeks, I was like, oh, I better watch it. And they told me, like, this is going to start wearing off for about 6 weeks. So this lasted about 3 months.
Whoa.
And I thought, oh, I've trained myself out of it. I've trained myself out of pain. And then that thing came not like slow. It was little ache, boom, next day, bang. So I was like, listen, my cortisol's worn off again. And training was going great, bro. I was heavy. I was like fucking 250 and lean. I need another one. So I needed another one. And then even when I was pain-free, I sat myself and said, what the fuck am I doing? What am I doing? I said, this isn't
long-term.
No. And then I started having GI issues.
Right.
And everything was inflamed. From my GI and with my gut issues, everything just started hurting in my areas, elbows, knees, and all joints.
Was the GI issues from the cortisol?
No, the GI issues, I've had GI issues all my life.
Oh, okay.
All my life since a kid. So it's amazing that I'm in this fucking sport of bodybuilding. It revolves around the dinner plate.
Well, but also once you figure out a few things that work for you and don't aggravate your gut, you're good.
Yeah.
Because you can eat the same thing every meal.
I eat the same thing every meal.
Right.
Over and over and over and over and over. And I can get away with it as soon as I eat something different. Oof, I'm paying for it.
We can't go have pizza tonight.
No, I tell myself, like if you go to my wife now and she can tell you exactly what I don't like. And I say I don't like it is because my body doesn't like it.
Same thing. Look, Stan Efferding talks about that a ton, right? Diet-wise. He's like, look, I eat the foods my body likes, not what I like.
Yeah. And it's not like, I could eat that pizza and I would enjoy it. But the aftermath of what it would do to me, it would kill my appetite the next day and I would feel nauseous. And it's like my body digests things differently. I'm fucking built different.
That reason's basically why I quit drinking was I don't enjoy the feeling that alcohol gave me enough to justify the hangover anymore. I have too much shit I'm trying to get done.
I don't suffer from hangovers either.
Fucking hell.
That's my wife has.
I feel like shit.
My wife has never seen me drunk. And I've been all inclusives. She's ordering me top shelf stuff. She's like, fucking, I want to get my husband fucked up. Give him everything on the top shelf. I don't know if it's something to do with bodybuilding, because bear in mind, when I played rugby, I'd love to fucking do that.
Yeah,
can you imagine? I'm
surprised that because, like, I'm sure you don't drink much, so occasionally when you go and do it, that it doesn't hit.
Yeah, but when I do, I want to, I'm going to go out and I'm going to have a good time. And I'm not looking, I'm going to drink X amount to get fucked up. Because I know that there is an aftermath to drinking. But thankfully enough, I don't get hangovers. I'll have like more of the GI issues. But going back to the whole GI and out to the Olympia thing. But my wife and my coach Neil pulled me out of that Olympia. There was a moment where I was in the house and my wife said, "That's it," and she seen me go through the hardest of preps, like energy sapped. Making that 212, bro, was so hard. For 7 years.
You're walking around.
Heavy. Well, I used to be 250s, but heavy 230s, and then I'm coming down, and I'm ready in the 220s. I'm like literally ready, and I'm looking at myself. It's like,
where am I going to get rid of 10 more pounds? Where the fuck does that come from?
Come out. But we done it. I remember going to Vegas. As long as we went to Vegas about 215, we could suck it in just enough to make that 212. And I was always, if you go back and looking at the last couple of Olympias, I was always like 211 point. The last Olympia was 211.10. I was like fucking standing on the scale like Mr. Miyagi, like a Karate Kid. But I made it.
Think light.
Yeah. But we done it, but it was such a crazy struggle to get there. And she see me at the worst of times there, but she knew I wasn't going to stop.
Yeah.
This time, she had to intervene, and she says, "You're not doing it. You're not doing it." She spoke to Neil, and both of them got together. They had this conversation. Neil being in the UK at the time. They called me up and Ali was there and they were like, "Listen, you're not doing it." I fought it.
Of course you did.
I fought it. It was like, fuck you both.
Yeah, this isn't your decision.
I hate to say it, but I remember being like, are you kidding me?
Which I'm sure they expect. They know this is the first conversation.
Yeah, they both know I'm a little bit of a
Yeah, we can figure out the
redhead.
way to go into this.
Yeah.
We can get him on board. We have to start early.
But the seed was planted, not
Yep.
to coin that phrase. I've used it a lot today. But it was very hard to get in my head and get around the fact that my coach of 18 years and my wife was pretty much saying, like, you can't do the biggest show of your life. And I was like, this is just a little hurdle. We can do this. And I was like, no, you're not doing it. I was like, well, I'll fucking prove it to you both then. It's like I'm against the world now. Mm-hmm. And I lasted about 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
I soon realized the reality of what I was facing, and with the injuries and with the gut health situation, I was like, this is something that needs to be addressed. And I got my head around it. I'd done a lot of different things to keep myself moving and totally distracted during that time. One was this gym.
Yeah.
You know, I also took up fishing, which is phenomenal.
Took up fishing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Took up fishing. I know. Listen, I'm
And then you moved to the fucking desert?
A diverse character.
You're catching anything out here.
I know. I backed up in my old house. I used to
Just
back
the people that live underground here.
Yeah. But fishing, actually, not to skip over that, fishing was a very good time for me. It was it gave me a lot of time to reflect on my own.
Sure.
There's no distractions. It's not like I'm going to the gym and training on my own and I'm going to see people. I was out there on my own for a few hours. And
You have a boat, or are you just fishing off
the bank? I used to go fishing for big mouth and peacock bass and stuff. And
Good fun.
yeah. But them days, like I said, it was just me and my reflection, and I'd come home and Ali would obviously ask me how fishing was going, and I know what she was doing. She just wanted me to find some peace, and I also was looking for that peace myself. I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole of being, like the feeling I had when Dallas passed, but in a different place. I kept myself in a very positive mindset. I surrounded myself with good people, and I also made sure that because I was out of the Olympia, once I'd done that video, I then focused on the recovery aspect and put in the same emphasis that was going to be into my Olympia prep now into my recovery.
Right.
So literally, as soon as I'd done that video, I reached out to a friend of mine who I knew was going to be out, or was supposed to have gone out to Colombia, and another athlete. And how the world works in mysterious ways. That athlete, because of COVID, had his date pushed back, and he was there that exact same day.
Really?
And he was like, yo, bro, this is amazing. Obviously I've not had any of the post experience,
Sure.
but he mentioned, not the name drop, but he was like, this athlete's been there, that's the athlete's been there. So 2 top UFC athletes.
Yeah, everyone, Chuck Liddell all the way through. Yeah,
it was Frankie Edgar and Usman that was there that same day.
Oh, when you were there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So obviously I spoke to Usman, I spoke to Frankie through our mutual friends, and within 24 hours, the owner of Bioaccelerator was on the phone with me, and he was talking to me about various people's treatments, and people had been there in the past, and he said to me, maybe it's the second call, but either way, they said to me, listen, we understand the significance of this. It's gonna, we want this to be treated as a life-changing experience, and if we can get you back on that stage and you can compete and win that Mr. Olympia, then we've done our part. So we'd like to take care of this whole procedure. I mean, we talk about 30 grand.
I know.
Plus.
Right, I know.
So I was blown away. I was in a really sad part. Like, obviously mentally I was keeping strong, but I was also like, man, I've got to fork out all this money. But I know I want to do it. So I never went into this to get a discount or free.
Of course not.
And I was blown away by this amazing opportunity. And I took it with both hands. I ended up trying to get a fast date to get out there. Because to me, I was like, I'll come next week.
Yeah, tomorrow sound good?
Yeah. But unfortunately, again, because of COVID, all these things
going
got
to
passed.
Colombia, yeah.
Yeah. And we ended up getting a date released to me, and it was the same weekend as the Mr. Olympia.
Oh,
I was like, okay, that's not going to work.
Yeah, you have to go.
As much as I need this, but if I choose not to do the Olympia or go to the Olympia because of this, then I think there's going to be a lot of issues, And
you're you're too big a part of it now.
Yeah.
That you can't not go. Like, there's a couple things you could not go for. This isn't one of them.
Yeah. But what they done was they heard the situation and they moved some people around, and they got me in the very next week. So I literally went to the Olympia, super downsized because I worked on that point in time to get my body down. So I felt incredible. I felt so good. I started working with this gut specialist that I hired. My weight dropped off. I was doing things to drop weight. The mental clarity I had, and I just felt great. The energy was coming out of me every single day.
Just major diet and like nutrition changes, like changing up the types of food you were eating. And
just changing it. I wasn't eating so much. I was eating 2 or 3 meals a day, if that. And my main focus was getting down in weight to help the stem cell recovery and getting that weight off my joints.
Yeah, because if we're going to go, let's commit to this the same way that you commit to the prep, right?
100%. Now, did I love what I looked like? Fucking absolutely not. I know what I see every day.
Yeah.
And I'm known for being a certain look, a certain size. So going to the Olympia, I knew I was going to be downsized, but I knew that me going there, showcasing what I was going to look like on that day, and then fast forward to, several months later to rebounding and putting that weight back on, showed my commitment. So I went there.
But not only that, man, like I think as champions and someone who's going to be able to push, it's no doubt about that you have the ability to do whatever it takes to get success. And so what it takes to sometimes get success is be able to take a few steps back.
Oh, yeah.
And check your own shit.
Yep.
To be able to say, we're going further this way because this path, I can see the end.
Yeah.
Whereas I know if I can step back and move over, we have some more longevity here. So I'll commit to this.
Yeah.
And I don't care if anyone else gets it. It doesn't matter.
That's true. My people got it. The outside in was like, oh, Flex has lost some weight.
That's fine.
But the majority of people, I thought I was going to get a lot more shit, But a lot of people said, he's injured. He's doing this. He's doing
people
that.
Get it, dude. What people don't like is bullshit. People don't like lies.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same way that anyone I've ever seen get attacked for performance-enhancing drugs. There are people that deny shit.
Yeah.
Whether I've been honest about it or Mark Bell or any of these other guys, no one fucking gives a shit about it.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to give you shit about.
Well, it all depends
I
on
said that.
Well, it all depends on what web of lies you spun, right?
Yeah, of course. As long as you don't spin a web of lies, it seems to work out all right.
Yeah, with the recovery side of things, I put everything into this, like I said, and then when I went to Colombia, I realized, like, oh shit, this is real. When I was there sitting on a chair and they came out to give me that fucking shot to my shoulder, and then they came to do my knee, the elbows.
Those fucking needles are mean.
Yeah, but I was like, you know what? For all you fucks who think that I pulled out the Olympic because I was scared.
Right.
I'm fucking in Colombia, getting a shot in my knee, in my elbows. Oh, I avoided the Olympia for this. Right. Are you kidding me?
This isn't fun. I'm not on vacation, motherfucker.
It all got put to bed very fast when I put the video out for that. And, I didn't hear a peep about anything else because, this and the other. It's like, I've competed around the world. I competed as an amateur. Right. And I walked into shows. I didn't know who was going to be there. I stood against guys who falsified their age. So many times I got caught. And I stood against these guys, and I still beat them.
Yeah.
It's like, so, for me to say...
How about cheating like that and taking fourth?
Oh, my God. There's a guy out there that done that.
You're fucking fourth, man.
Gosh,
what are you doing?
You came fourth, and you still didn't even make the circle. Yeah, so I was like, I wanted to showcase the whole struggle. And I said to myself, and I said openly that I wanted to show the fans that I was going to be as real, good and bad, and as transparent as possible. And now I'm in the situation I'm on now, and I've gone through what I've gone through. Again, I think to myself, like, Jesus, you've done another Flex version of old. You've gone through a crazy storm with confidence and ignorance.
Confidence and ignorance. Yeah, I love it.
And I'm here.
Yeah.
So, and as I've gone back to what I was saying, my the full circle of my injury now is my injuries are in a great place. My elbows and my shoulders, I feel, are just a different level. My knees are definitely on the recovery, but I think at that 6-month mark is what I've been told is when things are like, holy shit. So even my leg days, I'm working with
recovery time's such a tricky thing, right? And with injuries, I get a lot of questions now, injury stuff, and so like people will ask me like, I'm nervous about losing whatever it was or getting back to where I was, and I'm like, I had a knee replacement. I'm not getting back. There's no going back to me at 27.
Yeah.
And so what's the best it can be now? And that's what I've got to focus on. And then the other thing is tell people, like, have some fucking confidence in the time you put in the gym that it's not going to disappear in 6 weeks.
Very true.
Because you're never going to get strong or in shape for the stage in a training session.
Yeah.
But you could fuck it all up in one.
Absolutely. Great. Yeah, great. Great.
So
yeah.
you got to play the long game. Like today isn't as important as the next 6 months. And recovery is the same way.
Yeah. And with that said, man, I told myself, it's like, okay, I had a countdown about getting back into that gym just to
I fucking bet.
I was like, oh my gosh, 2 weeks to go, 14 days, 13 days. And when I got into the gym, it was such a great feeling because I stuck to the fucking plan. And it was just, it's not like Christmas Day when you're a kid. It's like, oh, it's December, 25 more days to go.
And you've got the ability to adhere.
So, and also during that time, not to leave this part out, but I was also building the Dragon's Lair.
Fuck.
So there was a great distraction. It's like everything happened for a reason. There's no way the Dragon's Lair would look the way it does today if I was in a full-on Olympia prep.
No fucking way.
That Olympia prep, when it was taken away from me, allowed me then to get my head and teeth into so many different businesses.
Dude,
not just this.
No fucking way my business or anything I have going on is doing as well if I'm still competing. Even if I'm still at the top.
Yeah, Jay will say the same thing.
Of course.
You
you don't have time.
He lived probably the most monk life I've ever seen. He trained twice a day. He'd have no social life. His full focus was on that Olympia, whether it was in January and the competing in September. It was monotonous. But you now see that guy who has transitioned from that world of bodybuilding and that 2-a-day training and 2-a-day cardio and eating 10 meals a day to now being an entrepreneur in what he's doing right now. Because that same emphasis and the same drive and the commitment he had for bodybuilding has now been put into something else.
The trick we learn as athletes, right, is that we know it won't happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
We know it's 10 years.
Yeah.
And so if I need the success to be there, wherever I want it to be, and I know that it takes 10 years, I may as well get fucking started today.
Yeah.
Because I got 10 years to get there. I can't just turn it on 7 years from now and think that's how it works.
But a lot of people don't have that ability to focus forward and see that, the long-term plan, the play of chess. Bodybuilding is that. A lot of athletes will just see a magazine and go, I want to look like that, but I don't want to look like that. They want to look like this, but they don't realize that fucking athlete puts just as much emphasis into their training as that athlete. It's just how genetics play a part in this and the other. But people, again, going to what he was saying, this is a marathon, not a sprint. And a lot of people don't want to put that commitment in. And it goes with business too. With the Dragon's Lair, we came out here and put so much groundwork in to looking for the right place, looking for the right. We got so
and that's even
much
it's step one.
Yeah,
the stress of finding a building is only fucking step one.
Bro, we've seen so many buildings and everything. Like I'd pull up outside, and I didn't want to be disrespectful to my real estate agent, but I was like,
saying it.
Oh, I'm gonna stick my head in and pretend like it's not worth it, but it's like thanks. It's it doesn't have this, but I turn up and I was like, look around and go, nope. This place. As soon as I was driving up to it, I go,
Interesting. Especially you're right here.
Yeah.
Like it's in a really good spot as far as Vegas goes too.
Yeah. And it's got the 15 behind us, the 215.
You can get here quick.
Yeah. Great passing trade, great parking. So it would just tick so many boxes for me when I seen this amazing building and my vision started to grow as soon as I walked in here. I knew exactly what I wanted to do and how I wanted to put certain things in certain places. And then as it started filling up more, then I was even more inspired to change this and change that. So this was a phenomenal distraction for me during that time. it allowed me to get my teeth into stuff. And obviously I was meeting with general contractors, I was meeting with plumbers, electricians. So it was just a daily thing. I was on the phone. I was involved tremendously in the day-to-day
different
stuff.
focus. But it does require it.
Yes. And, did my physique fall into, into a certain category that I've never seen before? Absolutely.
I'm sure this is a weird. This is your definition of weird categories too, but
so
the body dysmorphia we all have is very strange,
I was
right?
like, is this retirement? Is this what retirement feels like? It was great. Actually, it was great because I could get up in the morning and be like, you know what? I don't want to fucking eat. I don't want to eat.
Yeah.
6 hours and I'll eat. I don't have that appetite when I wake up. My daughter's ravenous when she wakes up. My wife is ravenous when I wake up. It's like, what the fuck genetic you guys got? Rub off of me.
Right.
But I would pretty much just get up and just focus on business as soon as I did, get some caffeine in me and go. And then I'd be like, oh shit, I need to eat. And I never really stopped once to think bodybuilding, because I knew it was going to come.
Of course.
It's
a constant.
Yeah, that part in my life and that chapter in my life when I was trying to just give my body complete rest was one that I really did, like I said, give 100% attention to, and I allowed myself to just switch my brain off, not think about how small I was, not be tempted about going back into the gym, because I knew that the long play was where I am right now. And I feel in a great place. We've all got our bangs and we've got our injuries, but I'm in the gym and I'm fucking loving it, man. I'm getting my size back on. I'm about 10.
Especially like you did the time in the rehab the right way and fully committed to it and didn't rush it and didn't fuck off. And, and then you built this place.
Yeah.
Right? And then now you're just chomping at the bit to fucking use it.
Tom, yeah, man.
And so I bet training right now is great. You feel good and you're in a brand new spot to use. Like there's nothing better.
I come in here every single day and I think, shit, what the fuck?
It's a long way from Wales,
what
man.
Did I fucking, how did
I
get you?
It's a long way from raging. I don't think about it all the fucking time.
You ever have that?
All the time.
I'm not supposed to fucking make it. Let's be honest.
Dude.
I'm from Wales, a small little town in Wales. Let's coin the Vegas odds since we're here.
No shit.
I'm a big Vegas odds. For somebody who came to the US, knew one person, really, nobody could understand me when I got here. Most people still don't fucking understand me. But I've got to this place, through, I guess, being a student of the game, putting myself in places to learn and benefit from. Like, for example, I came to California when I was 21 years old. I first came when I was 19, but I moved over here when I was like 21, 22. And I soon realized that Gold's Gym was not the place to be at. It used to be.
Sure.
But there was no pros then anymore. And then I started hearing rumbles about this gym in Fullerton, California, which is an industrial park. So I said, Fullerton, that's where the Flex photo shoots go up there. So I got one of my friend's cars one day and went up in the 405. Oh, it's only 45 minutes away. 4 hours later, I get to this place. You know what I'm talking about.
Fucking LA, dude. LA is such a fucking disaster.
I get there and I walk into this gym and I was like, holy fucking shit. There was Chris Lund. I was doing a photo shoot of Gustavo Bourdais, I believe. And there was a couple of other athletes that were in camp there. And out comes Milos Sachev, who owned the gym.
Yeah.
And this place had been turned into a real hot spot. So he was having athletes coming in every single day.
Was it more of like a private?
No, it was open to the public. You would think it was private, but it was open to the public. And Milos run, it was a phenomenal gym. It was called Coliseum Gym. And every single day there would be a new athlete coming in to shoot for Chris Lund. And it was close to Olympia, so it was like 3 or 4 weeks out. So every day, everyone was coming in, and I would see the best of the best. And it was incredibly motivating. And then I started seeing myself moving up there. I didn't know anybody. I only knew one person when I lived in California, and I was sleeping on a sofa. I was sleeping in a bed in a beautiful house, in a friend's house, but I knew that wasn't the place to be. So I ended up moving to Fullerton, meeting this friend, who's still my day friend of mine. And out the kindness of his heart, he's only met me like 1 or 2 times. He was like, listen, I know you want to be up here. I'm in student housing, so we have to keep this secret, but you can stay on the sofa.
Holy shit.
Yeah. 8 months I was on the sofa.
Like in a dorm.
8 months on this sticky ass fucking like cheap leather sofa.
Yeah.
You know, and when you sweat, it sticks
Oh,
to you.
yeah. I slept on a buddy's futon for about 18 months.
Yeah, no AC because it was too
California.
costly. And we had to turn the AC on. It was excruciating hot, and we'd only turn it on for like 30 minutes because it would cost too much money. We done so much, bro. Again, I could write a book, but I was able to.
And it's the same people, right? That it's easy to look at the Dragon's Lair and Flex and Seven Olympias and all this and go, must be nice.
Oh, must be. Have you had it all the time, bro? It's like, you know, it's easy. You know, what? How did you get to? It's like,
you want to know?
Yeah.
We got 20 fucking years to go through because all of it matters.
But this chapter of my life, I mean, it's crazy looking back and thinking like, man, you this young fucking kid from Wales came over here, knew nobody, knew he had to be in Fullerton. And I'm talking as if it's a different person because it is.
Right. No, of course.
Like, this kid,
I feel the same way about whoever I was competing.
It's wild. This kid had like this relentless attitude to know he needed to be there, and he needed to get to the gym. Didn't have a car every single day, so every day was like a task in trying to get there. But when I was there, I would stay there all day until I could get a ride home. And it was just the experience, you know, that I was after. And you know, every time I spoke to my mother and father back home about what was going on, because it was a lot of things. I was on my own savings.
You on like a work visa at this point?
I was on a travel visa. 3 months. Yeah, 3 months. So I'd go stay there for to the last fucking day.
Fly home.
I'd go home for a month and then come back again. And I was doing everything to save up, you know, to make sure I was over. But being at that gym was great, exploring experience. In fairness to Milos, there was a lot of athletes that would come in and he'd be like, you know, trials, for example. Try's training legs today. You're going to train with Tri Flex. Oh, I trained legs yesterday. You're training with.
We're training with legs today.
So, what that enabled me to do was.
Luckily, you're 20 at the time. You can fucking get away with it.
I know. Yeah, it got me interacting with these guys. It put me in a position to show my own, hold my own, and also, I got a lot of shit for the nickname Flex.
Of course you did.
A lot of shit.
Fuck, of course you did.
I got abused for having the nickname. There's only one Flex. You know, everybody's got fucking nickname Flex.
You could have changed it moving to the States.
I spoke to my mother and, you know, she said to me, this is who you've been since 6 years old.
Right.
Don't change for nobody.
Fucking A.
That came from my mother. And
I fucking love it, dude.
You know, my mother at the time, you know, now she's gone through, you know, cancer 3 times. She's got a different perspective.
Yeah.
But back then she was a warrior. And for her to say, like, basically, fuck them all.
Fuck them all.
They all Flex. Don't change for nobody. It was like...
Keep doing you. Show them that fucking smoke, man.
Yeah. And I got a lot of shit, but this was a route of passage. I remember training with Dennis James, Dennis Wolf, Hide, who else is there? Freaking A. There was so many athletes. It was Gustavo Bodell, Melvin Anthony. They all came in, Troy Alves. They were coming in on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and I'd see these guys, get friendly with them, train with them, and I earned their respect. I earned the stripes. And as then my show career progressed on, I ended up then going back to the British Nationals and competing in the British Nationals, and I started getting a little bit of momentum and hype, and I put myself in scenarios. I got invited up to the Weider office at a very young age, met Joe Weider, and that was, you know, the people don't realize that experience.
It's a crazy door to get open.
Yeah, going into the Weider offices and seeing all the trophies and seeing all the statues and seeing all the life-size drawings of Arnold, Lou Ferrigno, etc. That, you know, bodybuilding had a stereotype, and this was that other side that I wanted to be around. You know, there was just this class and this, you know, there was fucking Joe Weider. And they said to me the first day I got to the office, I'd been there a few times after the fact, but the first day I got to the office, they were like, Joe's very sick, he just had back operation. He's not going to be in. So we were doing a tour of the Weider offices, and this was slam-packed. There was like so many writers in different sectors. You know, there was Flex, there was Muscle Fitness, there was Fit and Pregnant. There was all these different, you know, rooms and different people in them. And I remember Peter McGough, love Peter, R.I.P. He took me to Joe Weider's office, and who was sitting there? Joe Weider.
Oh, shit.
And he's like, who you have here? And I was like, oh my gosh, this is Joe Weider. And he was like, show me your arms. So I was like, you know.
All right.
Oh, okay, you know. But that was Joe, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And he was working, and I remember. Sort of, he had this big table, and I remember walking sort of around to shake his hand, and he tried to get up, and his nurse, oh no, because there was his nurses in there.
Sure.
He was like, I got it, give me a bit, and this guy was just like unbelievable. Shook my hand and told me to sit down. Never met me, made me feel so welcome, and then I think it was about 6 months later, I had the incredible honor of signing with Weider at 23 years old.
Crazy.
As an amateur.
Is that just a complete life change at that point?
Yeah, for anybody who's lived that generational Weider athlete contract, that was it. You made it.
Right. Well, was that like an on-off switch apparently of like, oh, now I can afford an apartment, and now I can afford to eat, and now I can fucking drive to the gym?
Bro, I lived on my own savings. That was probably the first time where I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I'm sailing in a little bit of better waters now. Yeah, it was like that sigh of relief.
It's you're not just treading water.
Yeah, and also it felt like I was recognized, not in the cocky sense like photos and stuff.
No. Someone that matters said you got it.
A panel of people.
Yeah,
because that panel of people had to do some background checks on me and see my past and see what my potential future was. And
they didn't bring up the pigeon thing, did they?
They said,
"We see you're into birds.
Pigeons, sign him." No, there was a just like
he's starting a new pigeon magazine.
It's like, yeah, don't talk to Joe about pigeons. He's got an issue with them. No, there was a different era, and the writers they had back in that day. I'm still friends with a lot of them. Some have passed.
Sure,
but it just bled bodybuilding. It was just a different era. And I revert back to saying I'm so blessed to have lived through that and have the magazine world and then transcend into social media.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, for anybody who was coming up. In fact, me and Sean Roden were talking about this to Derek Lunsford. He's the new up and comer, and we were talking a little bit of the business side of things, and myself and Sean were saying, like, man, back in the day, it was just crazy, we had, and the different businesses and contracts we had back then.
Right. And then, especially because of time and social media and the magazines being the big driving force of the whole industry, you had guys like Joe Weider that were these gatekeepers to your career.
Yeah.
Whereas now, you can make it happen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of noise to fucking get through because everyone's trying to make it happen.
Yeah. But social media has been great, and then it's been the detriment, especially with obviously the magazines, right? It killed the magazines straight away. And I was actually one of the last athletes to have my contract. In fact, I was one of the last two athletes to hold on to that last Weider contract, which I'm very thankful and blessed for. I was with them for 11 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, 11 years of basically support.
Yeah.
And they didn't really ask much of us athletes. Turn up, conduct yourself well, be in shape when we want you for a photo shoot, and just be a fucking representative of the sport. And unfortunately, some people had Weider contracts and lost them because they,
Well, people get the feeling of being entitled.
Yes. But, what Joe done in the early days of giving these athletes contract was amazing when you think about it. He could have just easily put that money in his pocket.
You changed lives,
but
man.
Yeah, but he made sure that these athletes had, these contracts that bodybuilders have contracts like professional sports.
I think about it, right? That think about the pride that you take in building the Dragon Slayer.
Yeah.
Especially this facility, right? Which you really got to do whatever you want to with compared to the last one.
Yeah.
And so imagine that you could build an Arnold or a Flex or a Jay or any of these legends. Like, you got to be the talent scout to invest in these humans.
Yeah.
And because they're so fucking good and they just need support, which you have, which is the resources and finances and contracts and people and connections that you can fucking make their life and get to see. Like every once in a while, right? Like you run into these just people that are these high-powered mutants and you just want to see what they're capable of. And if you could afford to fuel someone like that and it not take away from your life and be like, whatever you'd like to do, I'll pay for it because I just want to see what you're fucking capable of. And that's a fucking rad feeling.
And this guy was that guy.
I know. It's what an incredible.
You know. Even, you know, I've got a note. We mentioned Ed Connors. Ed Connors was somebody that when I was 20 years old, after I won the British Nationals, the show that I said, oh my God. And then Neil had me, you know, his fucking Braveheart speech going on there. And I ended up competing and winning. I flew over to America after that. It'd been several months because I get this email from Ed, who was like, "I've helped out all these people, and I'm a original owner of Gold's Gym. You know, bought it off Joe Gold with the partners. This whole thing." I was reading this. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" You know, I come over there. You're gonna lock me up in a closet and bring me out for some fun time. You know,
Right.
And you know, this is a kid. Me coming from Wales. This kid reading this email of like, "My gosh, this is like a fantasy." You know,
This can't be real.
This is not real. So it was several months that went by, and I had a couple of emails from this guy, and he was like, "Listen, just reference check me." So I ended up calling somebody who is really big and involved in bodybuilding and the promoter of the British Grand Prix. His name's Kerry Case, and he vouched for him and said he was a really good dude. He puts, you know, very similar to Joe Weider. He's made a lot of money, but he likes to see athletes reach their potential. Doesn't sponsor them.
Terry Todd did a lot of the same things, but with strength sports. Like he with Mark Felix and those guys, like he took care of Mark's and got Mark on the planet, and then WWE and everything else that comes from it.
So Ed never sponsored anybody. He would basically pay for your plane ticket and find you a place to stay, and then you would train in Gold's Gym. That was his thing. He'd taken care of so many athletes. That's his marketing vision way back in the day of how Gold's Gym became Gold's Gym. Is Ed grabbed this concept and this idea and flew in every great athlete and bodybuilder and made sure that they have room and board, also, you know, taken care of, and they can train in Gold's Gym every day. And this culture grew to then athletes coming in and renting houses, just wanting to be a part of this. And, you know, that's why it transitions into the Dragons there, because that vision I have is what I would love to achieve here. Creating like a hub for up-and-coming, aspiring athletes, top-level pros, Mr. and Miss Olympias, which we already have in the gym.
It's paying it forward.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm aware of what amazing opportunities indoors. And look, you have to be someone who can walk through the door and be invited in the room. You know, it isn't just handed, but I'm also aware that I've been lucky with hard work. And so... And the idea that you can pay that forward and help other people out and grow someone else's life and career, like, it's cool.
I think it's good karma.
For sure,
I really enjoy that too. I do. You know, I was saying, you know, I got some good athletes around me, young guys, and I thoroughly enjoy seeing doors open for them. Yeah. You know, opportunities that have come from, you know, them putting in the hard work and contractual changes and helping them with negotiations, which sponsors probably hate.
Yeah, of course, right.
But these are my guys, so I want to see them earn as much money as they can, because we're all racehorses. That's what we are. We're all fucking racehorses, and we're running the Grand National, and you know, we're only one fall away from having the horse shot. So you know, meaning injuries, and I want to see these athletes put as much money into the bank, invest, not only into themselves, but putting into different things. And these guys, these young guys I'm around, especially Raphael, for example. Raphael Brando's got his own show. He's got several businesses under his hat. He's a smart kid, very well-liked kid. And just to give you, you know, context in this, he came over to America, couldn't speak much more than basic English. Hello, yes, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you know, reps, and let's go, and that's basically it. he hired an English teacher that came in once a week, twice a week, 4 times a week. This kid's biggest shit talking in the gym. 1.5 years later, love the kid.
I love it.
He's a phenomenal personality. He's natural.
Well, the thing is that
Energy
that
is
American
shit-talker.
dream, it's still here.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
yes. I am the American dream. I
Of
truly
course.
believe that, bro.
You fucking wear more than I am.
Yeah.
The opportunity that still exists in America is still unreal.
Oh, fuck yes.
It ain't guaranteed.
Yeah. Well, that's it, though. The
But it
American dream
never
isn't
fucking
guaranteed.
is.
You know, a lot of people have come here and try to chase the American dream, but you ask them, did you do everything in your power? Did you have sleepless nights? Did you do this, do that? They're going to ask you, yeah, but it didn't pan out. It's like, no, you didn't. And then
Dude,
you look at other athletes.
You just can't quit. Like, that's the only thing. Is like,
this is
pay
my
enough
point.
attention to go like, okay, that
Yeah.
door's shut. I'm going to go this way.
Bro, I wouldn't be where I am if I hadn't have failed as many fucking times as I failed. But the thing is with me, I look at failure and go, okay, it didn't happen this time, but let's get up and go for it again.
What's a great teacher?
Oh, yeah.
Failure's a better coach than success.
I probably failed more times than I've succeeded.
Oh, yes. Anyone who's successful has.
Yeah. And every time I failed, I've learned from it. I've matured from it. And I've learned that when success does come, it means that much more.
Yeah.
These kids who I went to school with who just fucking won the race, won this and won that and were the best at something, they never had failure. And the first time they did, they quit. They don't know how to face these issues, and they face the fact that they're not the best. I mean, I've run races, and I used to be a hurdler, and I won everything, absolutely everything. And then I went to race over in England in hurdles, and this massive young black kid who was like 6 foot something stood next to me, genetics out the ass.
Yeah, of course.
And this guy is a Commonwealth champion right now.
Yeah.
Right now, he's in high jumping,
Incredible.
but he was a specimen.
Well, because especially at that age, right?
Yeah.
Like
Young.
any of the guys I've met that are Olympic track athletes, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
They're physically such talented athletes. They could play whatever sport.
Yeah, this kid was a specimen. He was a stud. So we were racing against each other. He went down in the blocks, and literally he was taller than me in the blocks. And when we raced, I blasted him off in the first 60, and then he came through with his strides. When you're 6 foot something,
Yeah, you can just cover less ground.
5 foot 5, 5 foot 6. He strided out in the last 40. And I remember coming away from that and going, man, nobody's ever beaten me. That was a crazy lesson for me, and it made me work harder. It made me pissed off.
Yeah.
Like, I remember going home. My mother was like, wow, you done so well. I was like, I don't want to I don't want to do well. I'm not that guy to just do well. I'm not a what are they?
Oh man,
like a little
that
trophy.
fucking, I know exactly what you're talking about. Do well.
I'm not the guy that just wants to do well. And
Second place trophies.
But I know my parents. They know how I am, and they were trying to find the right words for me. No words were going to be the right things. So the only thing I wanted to do was get home, have my moment, and then get back on the track and just put the work in. And I remember finishing the season running for my club as well as my school and winning everything. And then I transitioned into rugby because it was summer sport.
Sure.
But going off the point, and we were talking about failure, but bodybuilding has taught me so much life's lessons that it's just an invaluable thing. I would never have got these lessons from shadowing somebody in life.
No, and as someone who was never interested in bodybuilding,
Yeah.
right? But I love strength.
Yeah. But same thing.
Yes, but what I've seen with you guys and that I'm attracted to now is there's such a different level of discipline. And then the commitment and all that, most of my career is we're going to move as heavy and violent as we can until the body shuts down. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
That's everyone's path in my world. Because eventually time wins, and that's fucking it.
Till something cracks and breaks, yeah.
And you guys can train a much longer time span because of the difference in training, the hypertrophy work versus heavy fucking, loading. And It's the diet, it's the sleep, it's the commitment to it, it's the cardio. Like I'm wildly impressed.
Yeah, it's a wild thing. Just waking up being like, oh my God, I feel like shit. I have no energy, and having to do an hour of cardio.
The fuck does that mean? We're still going.
You dig deep. You just get going.
You don't even have an opinion about it.
You just get moving, and there's some people that just don't have that, and they'll skip that day. They feel sad for themselves. Oh, I need a day off.
But how many days, right? How many days have I found that I have that feeling when I wake up, and then if I can just fucking get to the gym, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And then I end up having a good session.
Probably one of the best.
It happens, right?
It
and
does.
I don't know if that's just because on some of those days I'm willing to like lower the expectations to like, let's just fucking get to the gym, and that's a win, because right now we don't want to do shit.
Yeah.
And so like, well, we'll just go. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, we went. Now I can chip away at like stealing time that I wouldn't have had.
Yes. Yeah. I'll say this too. Also, in my heart of hearts, I have never missed one cardio session in my entire career. I can look at you in the eyes and tell you this, bro. In the eyes and tell you.
God damn it.
I've had Neil do my plan, and I'm relentless. I will not deviate.
Like, what's the longest cardio sessions y'all are doing? Because I'm running right now, so like I haven't missed any of my run sessions in the last 7 weeks, and I've traveled and I've fucking got them in.
Fantastic. Yeah, you rated me up the night you got you at 12 something at night. Say, hey, bro,
I'm gonna go in the morning and fucking run.
Oh,
Are
you gonna be around?
I was hoping you'd be like,
no,
I can't make. No, sorry, you can't get in. I'd be like, shucks.
I tell my staff, charge him.
I've been fucking running in the neighborhood and like getting it done, right? And that, hearing you say that fires me up, because if he can fucking do it. Like, I can do this for the next 7 weeks. I can fucking do it.
And we've all got like them days where, adversity's kicking in, and you're mind fucking yourself, or almost your mind is trying to fuck you, right?
Look, we're far our biggest problem.
Yeah. There's been times in the past, I'll tell you this, I used to suffer some beautiful blisters back in the day. To the point where they were so big, they were worrying people.
Oh,
they were like, if you don't get these cut or drained, you're going to
like on your
septic.
Feet.
Yeah. I had them like in between my toes or my heels, and I would still do cardio. In fact, in the end, in some of the preps, I would put triple socks on. I'd try to pad the shoes as much as possible, but I never missed a cardio session.
Were you a treadmill or are you a step mill? Or?
I love going outside doing road walking, putting that hoodie up. Being in Florida, if you don't do your cardio before X time, you're doing it pretty much in the sauna.
You haven't thought about moving somewhere that's cold and wet? Back to the Wales?
No.
I've seen the trend here. We've gone from California to Florida to Vegas. Like.
Them cold days of Wales, getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and having to put my hoodies on and the double pants.
Vegas is a better vibe.
Yeah. I remember putting on complete rain waterproof suits to do my cardio. Again, the stuff I've done to stand on stage and get a plastic trophy as an amateur is beyond. But again, I was like, fuck, this is my Olympia. I would do cardio. I've been stopped by the police so many times because I'm the only guy out in the morning at 5 o'clock in the morning.
The hoodie up.
I remember one time I'm walking, hoodie up, headphones in, and I would not stop. I was fucking nuts. The cops are pulling up next to me. I'm like, guys, you got to keep on walking and talking. I'm doing cardio. And they were like, you got to stop. I'm like,
I
I can't stop. I got to keep my heart rate up. Swear, this is a genuine conversation. And these cops didn't know how to handle me. They're like, fuck it, I got to go. So I'd see my father sometimes going to work in the morning. I'd pass him because he'd sometimes walk to work in the rain because we had one car. So my mother would have the car for the day. And, them are all amateur memories that I think about. It's like, man, I was like, fuck, would I go out in the rain now? I don't think I would. I would drive to the gym. I didn't have the gym. No treadmills back then. We don't have treadmills in Wales. Where would I go and get a treadmill? Where would I get stairs? There was
why do we need a fake earth?
There was hills. Yes.
Hills.
There was hills where I lived, and there was paths, and I utilized every one of them. And I won every single show as an amateur, not even stepping on stage on a treadmill.
Wow.
So I've transitioned that mindset now, and I enjoy going out. I enjoy seeing fresh air. You're passing different things every single day. You see the birds, you're the bees, blah, blah, blah.
Well,
And,
they also talk about just, the fresh air and vitamin D and then mental health that actually comes from, say, getting a walk in a green space. They talk about that, like a 30-minute walk outside with trees. It reduces the chemicals in our brain that cause depression by over 60%.
Yeah, I don't know how much vitamin D I had, bro, because I was head to toe covered up. But
Yeah.
and as you can see, I don't get much over here.
No,
too.
you guys are clear.
Yeah, translucent is the key word.
Dude, we're over 2 hours into
Are
this.
you shitting me?
Yeah.
My gosh. Well,
And
listen.
Look, I'll come back to Vegas. This is easy.
This has been fun. This has been fun, and I apologize that we've probably ADD'd all over
This
the
is
place.
fucking great.
But it's great.
Because I love it, dude, and I'm so stoked on what you've built, and getting to hang out and get to know you, get to know your brother, and through mutual friends, man. It's been a lot of fun.
It's great, mate. We've already had some great conversations of old off camera, and I'm sure we could talk for another hour. But
there's no fucking doubt. This has never been a problem for me.
Not a problem for me either. Might have to put some subtitles underneath the fucking thing. But for all the athletes that are watching this and all the fans that are watching it on your social media, and I thank everybody for tuning in and listening to this conversation unfold. And
a pro's pro. Look at you.
Yeah, I just try to be the same guy as I was coming up. I try to let my friends tell me it's like I've not changed. Yet I've achieved certain things, but yet I've still got my feet in the ground, and I still have the same people around me who will keep me checked.
Well, you've had the same coach since you were a kid.
Yeah, and my wife,
you didn't dump someone because they checked your ego.
Or greener grass.
Yeah,
I had that dangling carrot in front of me many times.
I'm fucking sure.
But my wife, which I haven't mentioned yet, has been an amazing backbone to everything I've done, and I will say this too, something that maybe from the outside in is crazy, but her and I met, and she changed pretty much everything I run and done. She's seen more of me trying to align myself better, put myself on a better path, because I was the driven athlete. She's mainly got hold of me, slowed me down, and turned me into a brand.
Right.
Allowed me to showcase things more, and which then has allowed me to be a better athlete. And it just so happens that, the moment we've met, which has been 8 years ago, I've never lost a show since the day we got together. So I'm literally undefeated with her.
Got a good rabbit's foot.
So, whatever she's feeding me, I'm keeping.
Well, brother,
phenomenal.
I wish you nothing but success.
My man.
Nothing but success, dude. I love watching. And
thank you, bro.
It's because I'm not a hardcore bodybuilding fan, right? But I'm a strength fan in sports in general. And so it's a bit surreal too that I've got friends now with you and Jay and these other Dana and different people.
Yeah.
But there's also the part of me that's like, holy shit, like 7 fucking Olympias. Like it's not lost on me, like the amount of, I don't give a fuck about the title thing, right? But I know how much work that takes. And then to do it for that long.
Yeah.
People don't have it.
I don't even know how them 7 years went.
Fuck, I'm with you. Fucking understand, man. But brother, it's been amazing. The Dragon Slayer is awesome. If anyone's coming out to Vegas, please come check out the spot. It's an incredible, incredible facility with incredible product and just you guys, man. The environment here is unreal.
My man, and you're welcome here as my guest.
Thank you,
anytime.
brother. Thank you.
Every other
It's just
week.
a day pass.
That's just what I say. You stole it. You stole my joke. But no, listen, we love having you here. Obviously, and Bonnie too. She's been here. She came for the grand opening.
Yeah, I was bummed I couldn't come, man. But like all my equipment was showing up, and you know how that is.
I know. No, you told me in advance.
Yeah.
You told me in advance, and not to skip over the fact and prolong this anymore, but that grand opening, I couldn't even have asked for a better bloody grand opening.
Man.
So many people came out to support it to the point where I thought I was going to get shut down. We had so many bodies in here. We opened all the doors. We got as many people outside because they kept on filling from the front. But all I done was ask 10 people if we would like to come to the Dragon's Lair grand opening. That 10 turned to 20, that 20 turned to 40.
It shows a lot about who you are and the type
away.
of guy that, you're not begging people to fucking come out.
No, I didn't ask any VIPs other than the first initial 10. And then most people reached out to me and asked me, it's like, hey, how can I be a part of this? And they paid their own way.
Yeah, dude.
They paid for their hotels, their meals. And I sit here and go, bloody hell, That is wild. That is wild. And then obviously all the fans who came and drove and flew, and we had people from Guam here that came in, and just for the grand opening, it's like wild. So on that note, I will leave it there.
That's a big reach, man. That's a big influence and a big reach of helping people, maybe find their thing.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. And I think it didn't really hit me until 2 days ago, which is like, what 2 days ago was Monday. Monday hit me like a brick.
Well, it takes a bit of self-reflection, because during it, you're just putting out fires.
Oh, I was autopilot.
You don't have time to react.
The only thing that sort of spooked me was they came up to me and said, the police are outside.
Fuck.
And I was like, really? Really? Yeah, the police were outside because they parked up and came in. They fucking train you. They love it. So we have some phenomenal members, top class athletes. And then in the grand opening, we had so many people that came in, like I said, and supported, along with so many fans, friends, and athletes. And it was bang in here. And that to me was magical.
Yeah, man.
It touched my heart.
It reignites that fire.
Yeah, I haven't even done a post, bro. Every time I've tried to do a post about the weekend, I can't convey it. And then I'm going to do a video, and so I've just filmed something because there's no way I could write something. And if you see my social media,
you can't capture it on video. That's the problem.
It's wild, man. It's wild. But in any case, we'll be on here for another hour now if you don't get off.
Thank you, sir.
My man.
A pleasure.
My bro.